are back. It's eRacing Southeast Asia GP Causeway edition, a brand new series for you. We've done the global edition. Well, we've done 5 rounds out of 6. We've started Philippines. Now this is a special one between Malaysia and Singapore. A man who knows all about that rivalry is the man who's the architect of this whole series, Alex Young. Alex, what are you trying to achieve with this Causeway edition of eRacing GP?
Well, we've had such great engagement from the community. Everyone wants to get involved. Having these national championships, if you like, it just allows a lot more drivers to come in and get involved, and it's great because we still got the best sim drivers from Malaysia and Singapore entering as well. We have an AM class and there are a lot of beginners there. Actually, talked to quite a few of them yesterday. They've never done this sort of thing before, so it's going to be a big baptisms of fire for them. And then, of course, later on we have the pro class. And the pro class, obviously, we've got the best sim drivers from Malaysia and Singapore. And
with the lockdown ongoing, this is one of the few places that you can get to see any real live sport. That means we've got 1 or 2 new stars to introduce you to, or potential stars. Let's have a look at the entry list that we've got for the first race today. It's the amateur class of the Causeway edition, and for those of you who've been watching the global edition, 1 or 2 familiar names like Akini Tio, Sharazan Hassan, Leona Chin, of course, but a lot of new drivers out there as well, Alex.
Yeah, a lot of new drivers, especially from Singapore. A lot of last minute entries, so it's great to have them all on board. We're not quite sure of all the liveries here, so for the ones I'm not sure of, we just put them red and white if you're from Singapore.
But nonetheless, there are 24 going to be out on the circuit for us. We'll get used to the names. We've got a brand new commentary team for you as well. We'll introduce them in just a short while. But let's go out onto the circuit, Alex, and let's just get ourselves familiar with 1 or 2 of the races out there. We're on board here with Ken Lau, one of the Malaysian guys who's on board. Let's see who's quickest. Akina Tiao is out on the circuit at the moment, and he is fastest of all. He's posting a time inside 140. He's the only driver to post that kind of a time.
Yeah, really good. We've seen Akina's actually joined us in the GT4 class in the global edition, and he's at times been stunningly quick. Just hasn't been able to win a race yet, but he's been very quick. We know he's quick. Wei Xiong in second is also up there. He's also from the GT4 class in the global edition. You mentioned Ken Lau just now. First time we've heard from him. First time he's joined us, shall we say. He hasn't been in GT4 or GT3 yet, so it's nice to see some new faces there. And yeah, it's just great to see more new blood into the sport.
Right, 2 things we've got to talk about. The car, it's a Formula 4 car. What's your reasoning behind that choice of vehicle for all of the races?
Well, I wanted to get into some single-seaters at some point, and I thought this is a good chance now. Formula 4 cars are pretty good, especially the Tatus. We are running with the Tatus. Not all Formula 4 cars are created equal, but in my view, the Tatus is the best one. And they run it in Europe a lot. It's a good car to drive, the tracks we go to are quite interesting as well. So if you look at the track map, Des, this is Zandvoort, and all the tracks we're going to go through during the Causeway edition will be fast flowing tracks, which really allows a single-seater to fulfill its full potential.
Okay, let's do a flying lap with you, Alex. We're on board with Hafiz Tio. Just talk us through the flying lap of Zandvoort.
Okay, so now breaking to turn 1. Turn 1, also known as Tarzan, very famous corner, heavily banked. Zandvoort's very well known for being banked a lot. It's about 45 minutes on the way from Amsterdam on the coast. Now through turns 2 and 3. Turn 4 here, it's heavily banked, but very hard to get right. It's long and it kind of goes. You almost want to do a double apex there, and it's kind of tricky to get exit out of. Now, out of turn 4, you got these squiggly bits here, which is easy flat. Even in the wet, it's easy flat in these cars. 5, 6, 7, which makes it quite interesting indeed. Now, this next corner, turn 8, I think it's turn 8, is very quick. It's one of the best corners in the world, to be honest. It's slightly banked, but with the Formula 4 car, you don't even brake. It's just a lift. Then this one here, it's a small dab on the brakes. You've got to use the curb. In the touring cars, TCR cars use the curbs heavily, but not in a single-seater. This corner is very tricky, always battling understeer. And then this next left-hander again. It's a very long corner, and you're in it for a long time. So if you choose the wrong line, you scrub wide like Hafiz has just done, you lose a bag of time there. So it's very important to keep things neat through these corners. You have to be very precise. There's not much runoff. Look at this chicane here. It's very tight, slowest part of the track. You want to monster the curbs, but if you monster the curbs too much, it just gets bounced off, and you quite easily go to the barrier. We saw Akina just do it in the previous lap. Went to the barrier in that corner. So it does get very tricky indeed. Precise drivers who love pushing themselves through fast corners, those are the sort of drivers that do well here.
So there was a flying lap of Zandvoort brought to you courtesy of a very excited Alex Young. I love to see your face when you're doing these flying laps because you're in the cars yourselves. These are places that you've been and seen and really get to love. A couple of other guys we won't see but we hope to hear from and get to love are our commentary pairing coming up for this particular event that we've got. Want to introduce you our Malay commentator Nick and our technical English commentator Victor and gents. Welcome along to eRacing John P. Take us away from here.
Oops, I think we've lost the commentary again a bit at the moment, so we'll just stay here. We're just trying to get Victor and Nick back on.
Apa khabar para penonton sekalian, selamat datang kepada eRacing GP Malaysia dan Singapura di mana sebanyak 40 pemain pelumba amatur dan profesional telah pun berkumpul dan akan berlawan antara satu sama lain.
Yes, that is exactly right, Nick. Again, top of the morning, everyone. This is the eRacing GP East Asia. We're broadcasting live from our own bedrooms thanks to the MCO, and I hope you guys are settling in pretty well yourselves. So Nick, today are you excited to see a good clean race here of Formula 4 on Zandvoort?
Memanglah tak sabar sangat nak melihat segala bakat yang ingin ditonjolkan oleh para pelumba-pelumba ini. Ingatlah para penonton sekalian, kami semua bersiap langsung dari rumah sahaja. So kalaulah anda baru sahaja datang pada siaran langsung ini, jangan lupa ketik like dan juga ribuan terima kasih kepada penaja kita Race Room, Persatuan Sukan Motor Malaysia dan juga 100 Motorsport. Lita, betul pilihan kita adalah Zandvoort. Dan apakah pandangan Victor bagi ciri-ciri yang memang terkemuka bagi Lita tersebut?
Well, I mean, as Alex has already explained earlier, I mean, Zandvoort is a very, very fast circuit. It's also incredibly narrow, which means that very few opportunities for overtaking. And given that Zandvoort is a very, very fast track, we're going to be seeing these cars actually pushing the limits of how fast it can go through some of these corners, and we bet that a lot of these drivers will be pushing constantly towards the edge here in order to be able to set their fastest time, because qualifying is going to be coming up soon.
Bila kami lihat daripada lap latihan ini yang telah pun dijalankan oleh para pemandu-pemandu kita, apakah benda yang paling susah sekali untuk meningkatkan kedudukan mereka di standing?
It's a lot of it is about setup, because anytime you're trying to attack a corner, you have to be able to position your car at the right position on the track, and as well as the correct entry speed. And this is no more important on any other tracks than Zandvoort, because there's a lot of sections in Zandvoort where you will have to attack it at maximum speed, and sometimes that means that if your car is just a little bit off to the side a little bit, you'll find yourself very quickly on the grass or perhaps even inside a gravel trap. So a lot of these drivers, they have to be absolutely precise on where and when they want to place their cars.
Sebanyak 15 pusingan corner yang telah pun kami lihat di Zandvoort ini, di mana flying lap telah pun diselesaikan, di mana Alex Young tadi telah pun mengulas bagi flying lap tadi itu. Apakah lengkungan yang paling susah untuk dilawani oleh para pelumba kita pada hari ini, Victor?
A lot of the chicanes, like those areas of the track where it goes from left to right very suddenly, those are going to induce a lot of momentum changes into the car, and a driver who is not careful on keeping the car's balance are going to very quickly find their back end just sliding out unexpectedly. And this is going to happen a lot on Zandvoort, because not only is the track really fast, but you also try to keep your average speed throughout the lap really, really high. So the thing is that just letting off the throttle even becomes a very risky proposition, especially when you've already got someone who's chasing very, very hard behind you.
Bila daripada segi kelajuan, apakah kelajuan yang boleh dikatakan average speed di mana Lita ini is concerned? In terms of the average speed of the entire track, how do you feel the players are going to actually adjust towards the chicanes?
So I can't speak exactly to what the actual average speed will be. I mean, that really depends lot on many different factors, you know, from the car to conditions on the track. But I would say, like, having done a few practice rounds myself on Zandvoort, I find myself constantly pushing the car above 120, 150 through some of these corners and reaching sometimes a top speed of nearly 200. So you can be guaranteed that, you know, these Formula 4 cars will be moving at absolutely breakneck speed, and it will definitely test a lot of these drivers' reaction times and skills.
Boleh dikatakan satu liter yang penuh aksi dan drama, bakal drama lah yang akan mengemukakan perkaranya. Dan maaflah kalau
Yeah.
tersasul sikit. Telah pun dan terlupa nak katakan pada semua anak-anak Malaysia, salam mubarak dan selamat menjalankan puasa pada bulan suci ini.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the fasting month, I mean, with the MCU going on, you think it's going to be a really challenging fasting month for you?
Memanglah satu bulan puasa yang bolehlah dikatakan susah jugalah sebab MCO tak ada rasa. I don't feel the closeness because we don't have the bazaar. Memang bazar dah tak boleh pergi sembahyang tarawih sebab ada boleh dikatakan larangan sebab PKP kan. So
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like the bazaars are definitely going to be the thing I'm going to miss the most this MCO. I mean, man, it's going to be a really tough like few months, especially now that the MCO has also been extended. So I hope you guys you know, are staying safe at home. You know, be sure to take all necessary precautions, and you know, most important of all, you know, just find ways to have fun, just like our drivers here in the eRacing Grand Prix taking part in this race here at Zandvoort.
saya rasa itulah paling penting lah sebab kami lihat hiburan memang kena ada satu benda untuk menghiburkan diri kita, dan bagus juga nak lihat semua para peserta kita yang telah pun memasuki dalam eRacing GP Malaysia dan Singapura ini bukan saja nak menghiburkan diri lalu pun memberikan sokongan kepada komuniti eRacing ini yang lalu membesar di Malaysia ni
And
dan
not
Singapura.
not just Malaysia but Singapore. I'm really glad to see taking part in this competition here. Now, granted, like Brian Teo is currently the fastest one right now, about 140s, I believe. It's 1.046 seconds behind our current provisional pole sitter, which is Akina Teo. And yeah, it's definitely going to be a very packed grid we're going to be having here, you know, for Malaysians and Singaporeans. Definitely lots of rivalries that will certainly be sparked in this race itself.
Memanglah saingan antara anak-anak Malaysia dan anak-anak Singapura memanglah tercatat di dalam sejarah kita berbesar. Daripada kecil lagi memang ada saingan itu, tapi adalah semua dalam semangat kesukanan. Tapi kami akan lihat ya di top 5 yang 5 ke atas kedudukan semuanya Malaysia yang tengah pegang, tapi Brian Teo bersama dengan Koh berada di belakang di kedudukan 7 dan 8 juga. So boleh dikatakan walaupun ini satu lap practice, lap latihan, kami boleh lihat boleh dikatakan satu foreshadowing di mana kedudukan-kedudukan mereka telah pun diketahui. Tapi ini semua practice round, mereka mungkin tengah berkenalan dengan Lita Zandvoort ini. So apakah pandangan Victor pula?
Well, the thing is, again, practice sessions are usually where this is basically your last chance, you know, get in those last last bit of practice, you know, those few corners maybe that you're a little bit uncertain of, or maybe have a bit of trouble with. This is your last chance basically to try and figure out the best way to nail it, or find a way to mitigate the loss of time for those sections of the track that you're not particularly good with. But I think for a lot of these drivers, it's also going to be a question of pushing the limits here. I've been hearing, especially during the drivers' briefing, that some of these drivers were experiencing trouble with their tire wear because, especially given that the track's so fast here in Zandvoort, tires actually wear out much faster compared to other tracks, and this has become a particular issue, especially with the pro class. So I suppose for the amateur class, you know, they're still doing their best right now to try to keep the tires pretty nice and neat. Yeah, obviously, the amateur class and pro class are running on slightly different tire simulation rates. Amateur class is running only on one time, versus pro class we're running I think 1.5 or 2 times the normal tire wear rates.
Selain daripada itu, adakah peraturan-peraturan dalam race room ini memang sama antara amatur dengan kategori amatur dan profesional, Victor?
Yeah, I think it should be more or less the same. Like because again, we're the main goal of the eRacing GP, is to try to bring virtual to reality, and that means putting the conditions onto the drivers as close as possible to the conditions that they will face in real life, and doing stuff like these are going to be able to not only test the driver's abilities inside the game itself, but also how would they react to real world changing conditions. That's also a core essential skill for a lot of these drivers here.
Boleh dikatakan platform race room ini adalah langkah pertama untuk mempraktikkan kan teori-teori anda di dalam lita tersebut, lita virtual tersebut. So lihat daripada segi kedudukan para pelumba boleh dikatakan tiada perubahan-perubahan yang besar yang boleh diperhatikan, namun kami akan lihat di mana 35 saat lagi tertinggal di dalam fasa latihan ini sebelum kami akan ke fasa qualifying.
Yeah, so there should be no surprise that there's not much changes in time. Obviously, when practice comes, you're not really trying to push for fastest time, though some drivers will do so. But most of the time, the drivers are more concerned, of trying to see how far they can push the limits of the car as well as the track. And sometimes that means making a lot of mistakes. So they don't necessarily, they will not necessarily be able to set their cleanest or fastest laps, but at least they would know this is the places on the track where I shouldn't push, and maybe they will also find out these are the places on track that I should push, and maybe I'll be able to gain 2, maybe 3 tenths of a second as a result of that.
Maaf saya telah pun tamatnya fasa latihan dan kami akan masuk kepada fasa qualifying. So apakah yang ingin dilihat bagi para pelumba-pelumba kita pada hari ini di fasa qualifying tersebut, Victor?
Well, when it comes to qualifying, you always want to keep your distance. You want to make sure that you have enough space in front of you as a driver, so you have plenty of room to just go full flat out and be able to set your fastest time. So, I mean, in the sense, these drivers here on the track, they have to practice a bit of social distancing in a way. So I guess it's oddly appropriate given the current condition we're facing right now.
Ingatlah para penonton sekalian, kalaulah anda keluar ingin nak beli apa-apa di kedai, roti ke nasi ke apa, ingatlah practice social distancing, mengamalkan segala langkah yang telah pun dikeluarkan oleh Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia kita, dan haraplah kami semua boleh membanteraskan penyakit COVID-19 ini. Dan selain daripada itu, saya rasa qualifying round ini akan kami lihat dan perhatikan masa-masa yang paling laju, dan kami akan lihat di pandangan kita Ken Lau sekarang cantik-cantik benar keretanya, kuning dan hitam catnya.
Definitely a very distinctive color, but funny enough, it's also the same livery that's used by Akina Tio, so we won't get confused by that. But in any case, Ken Lau is so far in his lap. I'm not sure whether he's on a flying lap yet. After all, the qualifying sessions only started, but given it's only 5 minutes, realistically speaking, there's only maybe time for 2 flying laps at most. So Ken Lau, coming right out of the bat, is already starting to push his car, and we'll be hoping to see if he's going to be able to put his name on the top of the leaderboards here, given his really wild lines he's going through here. Look at that.
Oh, boleh katakan liar jugalah cara dia melawan cara dia masuk dalam corner itu. Tapi kami lihat ya daripada Syahrizan Hasan sekarang dan Hafiz Brian Teo, pandangan mereka telah pun keluar sekarang. Rasa dia telah pun mencatatkan masa yang terlaju 1 minit dan 39 saat tercatat.
It's not the fastest time we've seen yet, because I believe in practice we had a much faster time than 139.957. But for now, Hafiz Brian Teo is your provisional polster, and definitely the time to beat right now. So Shabi Hassan, of course, is only about 1/10 of a second behind, and Wei Xiong has just fired a good shot there, a 139.864. That shoots him up right up to P1 for now.
Pecutan masa tidak begitu banyak jaraknya antara Brian Teo dan Wei Xiong, namun adakah Brian Teo dapat peluang untuk melepasi Wei Xiong daripada segi masa. Di belakang dia adalah Hassan dan juga Zikri dengan masa-masa tercatat mereka, dan boleh dikatakan tidak begitu jauh jurang masa antara kedudukan-kedudukan mereka di kedudukan kelima teratas.
And we can even see like just further down the grid here, uh, Douglas Koo and Graham, they all are within a tenth of a second of each other. So you can tell that just based on lap times alone, that midfield definitely is going to be very, very competitive. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see who end up coming up on top in that battle there, because just judging from the lap times alone, you can tell that just pace-wise, maybe these guys are just really, really close to each other. And that really makes for some interesting scenarios that possibly will show themselves on track here, given that Zandvoort, again, such a fast circuit, very narrow, very few opportunities to overtake. So these battles here could be long and very much a standoff, you know, between a lot of these drivers.
45 saat tertinggal bagi fasa qualifying tersebut, dan kami akan lihat ya di kedudukan pertama Muhammad Zikri sekarang dengan keretanya berbelang hitam hijau. Memanglah cantik sangat kedudukan dia, dan saya rasa dia telah pun keluar daripada lobi dan telah pun dipecut oleh Wei Xiong.
Yeah, and that was actually
lap yang cantik.
Yeah, that was actually a back and forth between Kamal Ali and Wei Xiong. They both set fastest times back to back there, but Wei Xiong ended up becoming the man on top here, so he will be starting in P1.
Dan kami akan lihat ya Kamal Ali, Muhammad Zikri, Hafiz Brian Teo daripada Singapura, Akina Teo, Syarizan Hassan merupakan top 5 kita pada hari ini. Henrico, Jaden Kin, Zulfikri Wajdi, Ken Lau, Douglas Koo, Matthew Graham, Adam Kondrolosis. Haraplah saya cakap nama anda dengan betul. Didi Lima, Leona Chin, Ignatius Tan, dan sewaktu dengannya telah pun melengkapi satu lap di dalam Lita Zandvoort ini, dan kami berada di dalam garaj tersebut dan bersiap sedia di atas Lita untuk bermula perlawanan-perlawanan ini di antara 20 pemain di dalam kategori amatur.
That's right. So no park for me rules. The drivers will their settings, and this again the last minute for them to fine-tune the settings, you know, and finalize them before they get up on the grid and get ready to race here. So this is going to be a interesting race here. First race on Zandvoort, a very fast, very narrow circuit, lots of opportunities for action, very few opportunities to overtakes, and we'll be seeing them very, very soon.
Race akan perlumbaan akan bermula sebentar lagi.
Oh no,
Maaf
actually
saya,
it's already started.
bermula. Maaf saya.
So,
15 minit di dalam masa tercatat, dan kami akan lihat ya permulaan telah pun dimulakan dengan Wei Xiong memecut ke hadapan. Dan perlawanan-perlawanan dia di lekongan Tarzan telah pun berlepas. Kami akan lihat di kedudukan nombor 4 Syahrizal Hassan berlawan antara satu sama lain. Kamal Ali pun belakang dan cuba mengejar top 5 yang berada di hadapannya, tapi akan dipecut oleh sesiapa itu. Kami akan lihat Wei Xiong tetap akan berpegang di kedudukan nombor 1 Victor.
he had such a good start early on, and that allowed him basically have clear roads ahead, so he's much out of the drama right. Looking at the back there, it's definitely very, very messy. We saw Sharizan Hassan able to make up a couple of places there, but he's facing a lot of pressure here. Kamal Ali now seeing a good opportunity. He's trying to go around the outside Brian Teo, but doesn't quite nail it. He does, however, slip into the inside here. Maybe he might be able to break it. No, he does not. He slams into the wall and gets way, way off course there. He's going to lose a couple of places for sure as Brian Teo moves up into P5 right behind Shami Hassan.
Kamal Ali menjejaskan kedudukan dia dengan satu langkah yang begitu agresif untuk melawan garis perlumbaan yang telah pun ditahankan oleh musuhnya ke hadapan, namun tidak berjaya. Kamal Ali cubaan satu lagi, namun berlanggaran dengan kedudukan seterusnya, iaitu Matthew Graham cuba mempertahankan garis perlumbaannya tersebut, dan kami akan lihat Wei Xiong tetap akan memegang kedudukan dia di nombor 1 di hadapan dan akan siap bersedia untuk melepasi garis penamat untuk melengkapi lap pertama.
If there's one thing I could say about Wei Xiong, it is because he's a very, very consistent driver. So I wouldn't be surprised he would be holding onto that lead quite a while. Because again, like as long as he doesn't make any mistakes at all, I think he should be able to take home the win here. But the thing is, looking at the rest of the field, though, it's still very much an open question of who will be able to come up into P2 because you're seeing like a three-way battle right now forming on the podium. We are seeing Aquino Tio right now just trying his best to try to keep up with Wei Xiong, but really, he's also thinking about the guys behind him, Zikri, Hassan, and Brian Teo, who are all currently battling for their place on the podium. And Hafiz, Brian Teo taking a much nicer line there compared to Hassan. Hassan losing a lot of speed there, unfortunately. And Brian Teo sees an opportunity, he tries to go for the attack, but doesn't quite find the opening he needs to. Good defensive driving there for Hassan so far, but will he be able to keep up, Joe? That remains to be seen.
Cuba memakan apex dan melalui makan dalam garis garis lumba tadi, namun tidak berjaya. Kami akan lihat kedudukan Wei Xiong tidak akan terjejas akibat benteng yang telah pun disediakan oleh Akina Teo menahankan kedudukan nombor 2 itu lalu menyelamatkan kedudukan Wei Xiong. Kami akan lihat Akina Teo cuba sebaik mungkin untuk mendekati jurang dia antara Wei Xiong dan Akina Teo, namun Wei Xiong terlalu disiplin berpegang kepada garis lumba dia dan berpegang teguh kepada kedudukan nombor 1. Akina Teo tetap mencuba sebaik mungkin untuk mengejar kepada Wei Xiong yang kini melengkapi lap kedua dia.
And it's definitely a rock and a hard place, I think, for Akina because Zikri is actually very, very close behind. In fact, he's almost about half a second behind Akina Teo. So I think he's more concerned about Zikri actually overtaking him rather than him trying to catch up to Wei Xiong at this point. So that is mainly the battle we've seen for P2. But I do also want to point out Kamal Ali has dropped all the way down to 11th place. I think his troubles from early on has certainly added to his woes right now, as he's very clearly out of the points here, and he's definitely going to have a hard race to climb here, as we still got another 10 more minutes left here on Zandvoort.
Kami akan lihat daripada pandangan Adam Kondrolocis. Haraplah saya sebut nama dia dengan betul. Setiap kali saya sebut nama dia, haraplah saya tersebut dengan betul. Dan kami akan lihat dia di latar belakang tadi pun ada satu kereta yang telah pun keluar daripada lita lalu berasap. Dua kereta telah pun keluar dan berasap di luar lita tersebut. Haraplah kedudukan mereka tidak pun terlalu teruk di dalam race tersebut. Dan kami akan lihat Akina Teo sekarang tetap berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 2 lalu mempertahankan segala peluang di mana Muhammad Zikri kini mencucuk dia daripada belakang, cuba sebaik mungkin untuk memberi sebanyak tekanan yang boleh kepada Akina Teo, namun kedudukan dan jarak antara Akina Teo dan Muhammad Zikri agak jauh, tapi tidak terlalu susah untuk Muhammad Zikri untuk mengejar balik Akina Teo.
Yeah, exactly. If Zikri was to have a chance of getting up into P2, he has to increase that. Because again, Zandvoort is such a difficult track that, just a slight mistake here can really cost you a lot of time, and maybe mistakes on the board.
Hafiz Brian Teo untuk memotong Hassan, namun satu pertahanan yang bagus datang daripada Hassan untuk menutup pintu kepada Hafiz Brian Teo, lalu menafikan dia peluang untuk memotong Syarizan Hassan. Hassan sekarang berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 4 dan berfungsi sebagai benteng kepada Muhammad Zikri. Namun Muhammad Zikri tetap akan cuba untuk bertekan kepada Akina Teo, dan kami akan lihat sepanjang perlumbaan ini Wei Xiong akan berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1, tapi kepada perlumbaan seterusnya reverse grid ada. So adakah ini satu petunjuk di mana Wei Xiong akan ada satu perlumbaan yang senang dalam perlumbaan nombor 1, tapi perlumbaan 2 agak susah untuk dia berpotong dan merampas kedudukan nombor 1, Victor?
Well, I mean, certainly being on pole position means that you can savor the race for now because you're definitely not under pressure. So definitely a lot of his thoughts will be just on, making sure they can maintain his pace here throughout this entire race, because again, that consistency is very, very important when you're talking about a full length race. So Wei Xiong right now definitely in the best position to grab the most points. I do want to point out quite a lot of overtaking is happening in the midfield here. I think K Lau and K Ali had a bit of a battle going on between the two of them, swapping positions between 10 and 11. So Kamal Ali is definitely trying his best to try to claw his way back up to the front of the grid. Hopefully get enough points here before going into race 2. But certainly it will be quite a mountain to climb for him, as he's got lots of really fast and tenacious drivers ahead of him to battle for their positions.
Sebanyak 5 pusingan telah pun dilengkapkan oleh para pelumba kita pada hari ini. Sebanyak 22 pemandu berada di lita Zandvoort tersebut, dan kami akan lihat dia Wei Xiong tetap akan berpegang kepada kedudukan dia, dan kami akan lihat di pandangan kita Henry Koh yang telah pun dikejar oleh Wajdi sekarang cuba sebaik mungkin untuk berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 8, lalu menekan kepada Matthew Graham, tapi Matthew Graham tetap akan berbawa kenderaan dia dengan penuh disiplin masuki kepada pusingan yang seterusnya. Kami akan lihat kedudukan antara Henry Koh dan Wajdi akan berdekatan antara satu sama lain, Victor.
Yeah, but also at the same time, he's trying to close the gap between him and Cole, but now I think Wajdi is sensing that he might have an opportunity here, given this is already a section of the track that's experiment with your lines and hopefully be able to get a good speed through the exit. And Wajdi is doing quite well actually in that regard. He is literally right up tail of Cole, and he's seeing if he can at least try to get into slipstream and hopefully outbrake him. He is going for it, but doesn't quite outbrake his rival there, and he will have to hold back a little bit for this lap now. But definitely that's a very close one there, and it might be a matter of time before he will start getting himself all the way up into P7.
Cubaan yang bagus daripada Zulfikri Wajdi tadi untuk menekan kepada Henry Koh, tapi kami akan lihat daripada pandangan kita Wei Xiong sekarang berpegang teguh kepada kedudukan nombor 1. Masa-masa tercatatnya telah pun pusingan telah pun dilengkapi sebanyak 6 di mana semua para pelumba kita akan berlawan antara satu sama lain, tapi perlawanan yang paling sengit adalah antara kedudukan Akina Teo dan juga Muhammad Zikri, dan kami akan lihat juga perlawanan antara Henry Koh, Matthew Graham dan juga Wajdi.
That's right. So that's right. Lots of battles happening here. Fast but narrow track, so opportunities for overtaking is very, very rare. So these drivers have to pick and choose their moments very, very wisely. So, and Sharihan Hassan as well, credit to him. I mean, he's been defending that P4 as if he's defending his life here against Brian Teo, and he's been doing so well with only 5 minutes left. As long as he can just keep this up here, he should be able to bring that car home in P4, but not before Brian Teo is going to try to make a move here. He's definitely in the slipstream. He's trying to find a way to just outbreak Sharizan Hassan, but it seems like none of those efforts have brought him any fruit so far.
Brian Teo dengan cubaan yang bagus dan handal untuk berlawan bersama dengan Hassan, namun Hassan bertahan dengan bagus garis lumbanya, walaupun Brian Teo cuba sebaik mungkin untuk memasuki daripada garis lumba luar, namun kedudukan kedudukan Hassan memang terlalu bagus berbanding dengan Brian Teo di masa itu. Kami akan lihat ya, Akina Teo sekarang dan Muhammad Zikri berjaya untuk memotong dan memecut Muhammad Zikri dengan baik. Akina Teo, kami akan lihat sifat sabar telah pun membawa pelbagai jenis hadiah.
I wonder what happened to Wei Xiong, because he was 3, so perhaps he had made a critical error at some point in this track. So unfortunately, that means that he's going to be in P3 for now, and Akina Teo now has inherited the lead away, but Zikri still following very closely behind. He's not out of contention yet. He may actually potentially continue this battle with Akina Teo all the way to the end of the race, but this time it will be the battle for the actual win for this race.
Zikri sekarang menekan kepada Akina Teo. Akina Teo cuba sebaik mungkin untuk berpegang kepada kedudukan dia nombor 1 yang telah pun dipegang selama beberapa pusingan yang telah pun dilengkapi oleh Wei Xiong, namun kedudukannya telah pun terjejas dan telah pun dijatuhkan kepada kedudukan nombor 3 bagi Wei Xiong. Tapi di belakang Akina Teo adalah Muhammad Zikri yang kini menekan sebaik mungkin kepada Akina Teo, tapi jarak yang telah pun dikumpul oleh Akina Teo makin lama makin memanjang antaranya.
Yeah, it looks like G Kin has suffered quite a spill just now, because he's dropped several places down into P17, and his pace seems to be dropped way below. It seems like the system is glitching out a little bit, so I'm not too sure what's happening to Aiken's race for now. But one thing's for sure, though, Wei Xiong is definitely trying his best here to salvage his race now, given that he has lost the lead and is now currently in P3. In the meantime, though, Hafiz Brian Teo continuing his chase against Hassan, who right now is facing traffic here in the form of Wei Xiong. So this could actually open up a big opportunity here for Brian Teo if he can play his cards right here, because even though Hassan has been very good at defensive driving throughout most of the race, he had a clear road in front of him. But now with traffic in the way, this could open up more opportunities for Brian Teo, find that opening he needs and get that P4.
Brian Teo sebaik-baik kura-kura merangkak, dia pun berjaya untuk merangkak ke atas kedudukannya untuk merampas kedudukan nombor 5, berjaya memotong bukan sahaja Matthew Graham, lalu Henrico telah pun jatuh kepada kedudukan nombor 7, Wajdi telah pun jatuh kepada kedudukan nombor 8. Kami akan lihat Brian Teo sekarang akan cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menekan Syahrizan Hassan sekarang yang berpegang padanya, dan sebaik mungkin tekanan yang akan datang kepadanya. Hafiz Brian Teo cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menekannya. Cubaannya tidak begitu bagus. Dekat lagi. Berlanggar keluar daripada litar, tapi Hafiz Brian Teo sekarang mendapatkan composure dan lalu menolak balik untuk cubaan yang seterusnya. Wei Xiong yang telah pun berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1 sekarang berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 3.
I can bet Brian Teo's heart must be pounding the moment his car lost control there. That curb is really weird, and that's definitely thrown off a few driver who had tried to overtake at that point. And Brian Teo unfortunately almost became a victim of that very curb. But fortunately, he is still able to keep himself in a race. He's still right up against the back of Sharizan Hassan and still will be able to continue this battle for P4. But for now, Zikri continuing his battle on with Akina Teo. He's still within a second Akina, but somehow isn't able to close that gap between them. Now, it is still going to be in his best interest to maintain his position here, but quite frankly, it looks like Akina is maybe a little bit too fast here for Zikri to be able to contend with. But nevertheless, Zikri is slowly but surely trying to inch his way towards the back end of Akina Teo. So perhaps a last moment battle is on the cards here. 30 seconds in his race here. Akina Teo right now in his last few corners before the end of the race.
30 saat lagi, 25 saat lagi tertinggal. Kami akan lihat cubaan daripada Muhammad Zikri untuk memotong Akina Teo. Lagi berdebar perlawanan ini, tapi kami lihat jaraknya makin mendekat antara Akina Teo dan Muhammad Zikri. Kami akan lihat Akina Teo lagi 10 saat. Bakalkah dia berpegang kepada kedudukan dia nombor 1? Adakah Muhammad Zikri akan menjejaskannya? Tapi kami akan lihat 3 saat lagi. Memang tidak, kedudukan Akina Teo tidak akan terjejas dan akan berpegang kepada kedudukannya nombor 1. Syabas kepada Akina Teo yang berpegang kepadanya dan lalu menjadi orang pertama untuk melepasi garisan penamat di pusingan pertama ini.
And as we also mentioned, Matthew Graham actually dropped several places there, so no doubt there might have been some collisions that happened towards the end of this race here. But overall, I think that was a very good and clean race here for Akina Teo. Zikri, he's definitely showing that he has a comparable pace to Akina, but perhaps not enough to be able to take the position away from Akina. So hopefully the next race where starting ahead of Akina, we'll finally be seeing an opportunity for Zikri to overcome Akina Teo's own pace. But definitely Wei Xiong here, sad case for him. He was leading the race in the first half, but unfortunately due to a mistake has dropped all the way down to P3, but he still will have a lot of points, and given that his pace has still been very consistent, I think he shouldn't have too much trouble going into race 2. But Sharizan Hassan definitely has one of the best defensive drives I've seen so far in this race, just holding on to that P4 and just not giving into the pressure here from Brian Teo, who despite his best efforts will be finishing in P5. Not a bad finish by any stretch of the imaginations, but certainly he definitely will be hoping to get a little bit higher than during the next race.
Okey, kami akan lihat pemenang kita adalah Akina Teo di kedudukan pertama, manakala pusingan terlaju tercatat adalah di ditangani oleh Wei Xiong. Inilah kedudukan-kedudukan mereka dan kami akan kepada pusingan seterusnya. Kami adalah para pengulas anda Victor yang akan mengulas dalam bahasa Inggeris dan saya adalah Nick yang akan mengulas dalam bahasa Malaysia. Dan selamat datang kepada eRacing GP Malaysia dan Singapura kategori amator.
That's right. We're 30 seconds away from race number 2. So this will be reverse grid, meaning those who finish last will be starting first, and those who finish first will be starting last. So this definitely is going to be a big toss-up, but still points are going to matter. So the thing is, the drivers here are still going to have to push the absolute best here. But given that this is reverse grid, maybe you might be seeing a different winner this time around. Who knows? We'll be starting in 10 seconds. And, well, Nick, any final words?
Well, kami akan lihat ya, sebelum apa-apa kami akan lihat perlumbaan akan bermula sebentar lagi. Adakah anda semua bersedia untuk perlumbaan nombor 2 di dalam eRacing GP telah pun bermula.
Good
Malaysia
start
dan
so
Singapura
far.
akan berlawan antara satu sama lain di kedudukan mereka. Victor, silakan.
Yeah, going down to the first corner, Tarzan, a break at the last moment here. Very tangled going on here on the front of some of the drivers having to swerve around a bit to avoid a bit of contact, but still lots of tires rubbing against each other as they're coming out to a turn 2. Ashraf just whipping his tail around here, just keeping people away from him. He wants to try to maintain P6 for now, but Jaden Kin coming around the inside here, he's going to be able to, he's going to get overtaken here by Matthew Graham, who has the lead in that red car. Brilliant move there by Matthew Graham. So now he just has to focus on trying to keep Jaden Kim behind him. But Kim, he knows that he still has an opportunity. He still will hold on to that back end here. He wants to take that P1 away from Matthew Graham.
Kami akan lihat kepada pandangan pandangan daripada kedudukan nombor 10 Henrico sekarang cuba menekan kepada lawannya iaitu Kok di depan, tapi kami lihat Douglas Koo sekarang cuba sebaik mungkin untuk memperbaikkan kedudukan dia, dan kami lihat dia telah pun berjaya untuk merampas kedudukan dia nombor 3 dan Lim
Glitch is going on. Oh my goodness, that was a huge crash there. Ken out. I think Zikri is also tangled up in there. I think Sharzan may also be affected. But man, there's lots of drama already happening on this first lap, and many drivers finding themselves completely out on the lurch. But certainly not this man right here, Edwin Lim, as well as Graham. Jaden Kim early on was in P2, but now he's dropped all the way to P6, and that leaves Magic Graham with a wide open P1 now, and he should be able to take home the race here if he doesn't make any mistakes at all. But with Edwin Lim always in behind, the Singaporean, currently the fastest Singaporean amongst them all, he's basically Singapore's best hope now of taking a win in this amateur class.
Kami akan lihat ya, Matthew Graham sekarang berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1, tapi tidak terlalu jauh kepadanya adalah Edwin Lim yang akan cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menekan kedudukan Matthew Graham yang telah pun berjaya merampas kedudukan nombor 1, di mana dia di perlumbaan pertama tadi pun telah tercatat kedudukan nombor 9 tidak silap saya. Dan kami akan lihat dia di pandangan Douglas Koo sekarang, sasarannya adalah Lim. Koo sekarang cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menekan daripada jauh dan cuba sebaik mungkin untuk memecut kepada Lim, tapi Lim berpegang kepada jarak yang agak baik, tapi cubaan daripada Koo untuk mendekatkan jarak akan menunjukkan dia, tapi tidak berjaya. Satu break dan telah pun menjelaskan kedudukan dia dan cuba sebaik mungkin untuk memperbaiki kedudukan dia, tapi terlalu sedih, dia telah pun keluar daripada lita tersebut dan telah pun terjejas kedudukan dia di dalam perlumbaan ini. Kami kira Matthew Graham, Lim, Ashraf dan juga Kin berpegang kepada kedudukan terempat ke atas.
We're right now seeing Zukiri watch. Look at the amount of things he had to contend with. Just car. Remember, he finished in P2 the last race. He's currently in P9 and counting. He started all the way from the back of the grid, and he's already making his way through the midfield. What a chaotic midfield, I have to say here. But Zikri is holding it in stride. The next closest person to him as well from the top 5 from the last race, Wei Xiong, is also chasing him, getting into P11 so far. Akina Tio, however, has found himself all the way at the background now. He's still in P17 and hasn't quite made up any places yet.
Kami akan lihat yang Akinatio sekarang yang telah pun berjaya untuk merampas kedudukan nombor 1 daripada Wei Xiong sekarang. Oh, telah pun keluar.
No, he lost his front
Sayap
wing.
ke depan dia telah pun keluar.
No, that definitely means a pit stop for him. But essentially, I think Akina's race is over now. I think, and it's a stop and go penalty here for Watch D. So this looks like his attempts to get into the midfield here has not gone unnoticed by the stewards. So he will have to go into the pit stops, stop his car for a few moments, and then only go. And that definitely is going to cost him several places. And I wouldn't be surprised if we'll be seeing him starting from the back of the grid again.
Akinatio ditimpa memang ditimpa malang lah tadi dengan kemalangan yang tidak begitu cantik yang dikenakan kepada kenderaannya. Memang akan menjejaskan kedudukan dia di dalam perlumbaan nombor 2 ni. Namun kami akan lihat di pusingan pertama dia telah pun berjaya untuk merampas kedudukan pertama dan mata-mata tersebut adalah besar. Haraplah kedudukan dia di dalam kedudukan mata overall tidak tersentuh sangat.
Yeah, Wei Xiong right now is in P7 and he is chasing so perhaps a battle could be forming here for 6 at the moment. And yeah, Wei Xiong indeed seems to be doing the best out of the top 5 from race number 1 and could be in the best position now to just take this entire amateur class race in Zandvoort for himself if he can maintain this consistency. And again, that is literally that strength right now. He competed in a lot of different sim racing tournaments. He's no stranger to a lot of like the chaos that can occur in sim racing. He's done very, very well to stay out of trouble. And as a result, he could be inheriting a lot of points as if he does finish in P5 here, but he may get even more points now as he's battling against Ignatius Tan in P number 4.
Ignatius Tan dan juga Lim di kedudukan 2 dan 4 merupakan Singapura, merupakan harapan-harapan bagi Singapura, dan kami akan lihat Ashraf dan juga Graham akan berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1 dan 3 antara Lim dan Tan juga. Wei Xiong sebaik mungkin untuk mengubah kedudukan dia ke nombor 4 lalu berlawan dengan Ignatius Tan. Peluangnya bakal tersebut dan itulah dia tuan-tuan dan puan-puan para penonton sekalian. Kedudukannya telah pun berubah ke nombor 4 sebaik mungkin saya telah tersebut. Jadinya terbaik-baik saja Wei Xiong memang menyerang dengan cantik dan tinggalkan Brian Teo ke kedudukan nombor 5, Victor.
Oh, in fact, like Brian Teo is just going to, Ignatius Tan is going to be really holding back Ignatius Tan and actually prevented him from being able to defend against Wei Xiong there. So that was just a perfect storm here for Wei Xiong. He's now into P4, just one more position left and he'll be on the podium.
Oh, satu lagi peluang bagi Wei Xiong untuk memperbaikkan kedudukan dia kepada nombor 3, tapi Ashraf akan berpegang kepada kedudukannya dengan jarak yang begitu bagus. Tapi Wei Xiong telah pun menunjukkan bakat untuk mendekatkan jarak dia dengan kedudukan-kedudukan yang dia mengingini. Dan kami akan lihat Matthew Graham sekarang boleh katakan dengan begitu lapang berlumba di kedudukan, berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1, tapi adakah kedudukan yang akan jejas? Wei Xiong tidak begitu jauh dan akan mengejar untuk kedudukan nombor 1 yang diidamkannya.
And again, like Matthew Graham is just showing perfectly a perfect example of how a good start can give you the win. And look at that, Wei Xiong again, amazing move there on a fast bend. And in fact, that bend has a really bad camber, so one mistake there could have just sent Wei Xiong into a spin, but he held on so well there, took that overtake against Ashraf. Even Brian Teo got in on the action and takes up into P4 as well, so double overtakes happening all across the board. Oh, and look at that, Wei Xiong just passing another car there. I think, is that a back marker actually? I think it might be the back marker there because Wei Xiong is still in P3. So a bit of traffic he had to contend with. But again, Wei Xiong just showing absolute masterclass in overtaking here on Zandvoort.
Wei Xiong daripada bawah lalu meningkatkan kedudukannya daripada 7 lalu ke 5 lalu ke 3, dia pun memperbaiki kedudukannya. Tapi kami akan lihat daripada pandangan Daniel Ashraf yang kini cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menunjukkan taringnya, tapi telah pun kena berlawan dan bersaing dengan Brian Teo di kedudukan nombor 4. Tapi kami lihat Wei Xiong sekarang tidak tercatat lagi kedudukannya nombor 3 sebab Brian Teo ingin mengejar dan merampas balik kedudukan nombor 3 itu daripada Wei Xiong. Wei Xiong sekarang memang satu pemandu yang handal namun kena bersaing dengan Matthew Graham, Lim, Wei Xiong, Brian Teo dan juga Ashraf.
Yeah, so Brian Teo, he did finish quite high up early on, so I think if he does finish here as well, he could be putting himself in a position to get maximum amount of points here for his situation. But certainly, given his pace right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Xiong will continue battling here on the podium, because as long as they can continue this pace here, I think we could be seeing both of them sharing a podium together as long as they keep it up. But Wei Xiong now just trying to put the pressure on Edwin. The lone Singaporean.
Satu cubaan daripada anak Malaysia kepada arah Singapura. Sekarang Edwin Lim yang
Oh no!
terkeluar daripada litar. Adakah Wei Xiong telah pun terkeluar daripada litar dan kedudukan dia nombor 4 telah pun terjejas. Hafiz Brian Teo telah pun berjaya untuk melepasi Wei Xiong. Wei Xiong kedudukan dia nombor 3 telah pun terjatuh kepada nombor 4. Dan satu telah pun berjaya untuk dilepaskannya Brian Teo. Kedua-dua anak Singapura akan bersaing antara satu sama lain untuk mengubahkan kedudukan mereka. Brian Teo dan Lim memanglah menunjukkan anak-anak Singapura ada taring yang tajam.
I mean, talk about Castle's curse. I was saying, we're going to see a battle between Brian Teo pushed out of the podium now, and Brian Teo will find himself in P2. This has really been a series of unexpected circumstances here, as Brian Teo now, 2 Singaporeans are on the podium, and this couldn't be any better for the Singaporean sim racing scene.
Oh, memanglah satu perkembangan yang banyak drama di dalam Lita Zandvoort ini. Telah pun kita cakap di mana Victor telah pun terangkan pada kita ciri-ciri yang terkemuka di dalam Lita Zandvoort ini, dan drama adalah ciri yang terbesar yang boleh dilihat, di mana Brian Teo, Lim dan Wei Xiong berlawan antara satu sama lain, dan Wei Xiong cuba sebaik mungkin tapi digigit teruk oleh Lim dan Brian Teo, lalu berpegang
Wei
kepada
Xiong on attack.
Wei Xiong cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menyerang. Garis patutnya ada elok. Wei Xiong berjaya. Lim dah pun keluar daripada litar.
Oh my goodness, Edwin just caved under the pressure there and outbraked himself, so he's gonna find himself on the grass. He's back on track right now, but he's lost P3 now to Wei Xiong. So, well, looks like my prediction finally held true. Wei Xiong is now in the podium together with Brian Teo. He's about a couple of seconds away, which is not the insurmountable odds here if he wants to continue his battle against Brian Teo. But with 3 minutes left on the clock here, time is certainly running out for Wei Xiong to try to make up some places.
Okey, kami akan lihat ya, Matthew Graham tetap akan berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1, tapi berapa lama lagi dia akan kekal berpegang kepada kedudukan itu, di mana Brian Teo dengan Wei Xiong berjaya untuk mengubah kedudukannya kepada nombor 3. Lim telah pun jadi mangsa kepada serangan Wei Xiong dan telah pun berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 4, dan kami akan lihat Wei Xiong bakal untuk merampas segalanya daripada Brian Teo dan Graham, tapi adakah masa mencukupi untuk Wei Xiong, Victor?
That's the thing. It's really hard for me to say right now, because what happened the last time Brian Teo got into the tangle. So, I mean, it could either end, with the current standings as we see right now, with Brian Teo in P2 and Wei Xiong in P3, or it could end with either one of them just basically being knocked off the track here and dropping all the way down into the midfield. So, who knows? The next 2 minutes is certainly going to be a very tense moment for all of us here to watch.
Beberapa kesilapan boleh membawa malang kepada kedudukan-kedudukan yang diingini bagi pelumba-pelumba tersebut. Sebanyak 21 pelumba berada di atas lita. Banyaknya Malaysia dan banyaknya anak Singapura, masing-masing akan berlawan antara satu sama lain untuk memperbaiki kedudukan mereka. Namun kami akan lihat penyerangan perlawanan tersebut. Syahrizal sekarang cuba sebaik mungkin dan telah pun melanggar keluar Ashraf daripada luar lita. Syahrizal cuba sebaik mungkin untuk melepasi kedua-dua pelumba yang berada di hadapannya. Adakah dia bakal untuk melepasi dia? Tapi kami akan lihat sebanyak 2 lagi. Dia cuba menyerang ke arah tengah garis pelumba ini, namun kami akan lihat kedudukan mereka tidak akan pun terjejas. Hasan cuba sebaik mungkin untuk berlawan secara agresif.
I gotta hand it to Ignatius there. I mean, it's so hard, you know. That section of the track where it's so wide means so much space you had to cover there, and somehow Ignatius was able to hold back not only Hassan but also Ashraf as well to maintain P5. So the thing is, you know, we have 1 more minute to go, so this is still going to be a marathon of a race here for Ignatius because he has contend with two very tenacious drivers here, and they are really looking for the opportunity to try to get up on his tail.
50 saat lagi dan satu lagi pusingan bakal dilengkapi oleh para pelumba kita. Siapa akan satu lagi perlawanan ni. Ignatius Tan menerima tekanan yang akan datang daripada Hassan Syahrizal Hassan. Cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menekan anak Singapura Ignatius Tan, namun anak Malaysia ni cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menunjukkan tariknya, tapi pertahanan yang datang daripada Ignatius Tan memanglah cantik dan mantap. Lim sekarang berpegang kepada depan Tan. Kedua-dua anak Singapura akan bersaing antara satu sama lain. Sementara itu Tan akan cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menafikan peluang bagi Hassan untuk memotong dia. Tapi kami lihat Victor, silakan.
Graham now, you know, he's been leading the Brian Teo is literally up against his tail, so he's facing pressure like he never for throughout this entire race. Brian Teo now trying to find the inside line, but Graham still hanging on for dear life now. He wants to take that P1 home. He's coming around the final few corners here. Will Brian Teo be able to find an opening though? Going a little bit wide there is Matthew Graham. He's losing a bit of speed there, and Brian Teo knows this. He's staying inside the slipstream as it comes out towards the final corner. Brian Teo still on his tail. Will he be able to get a speed? No, he does not. Matthew Graham comes home with the win. What an amazing finish here. Brian Teo in second place and Wei Seong in third.
Memang cantiklah perlawanan top perlawanan ketiga kedudukan teratas kita. Graham, Brian Teo dan Wei Seong berlawan antara satu sama lain untuk merampas kedudukan mereka. Oh, satu lagi kami akan lihat dia, Wei Seong bersama dengan Ignatius Tan, Ashraf dan juga Lau dan Ali telah pun berjaya untuk merentasi garis penamat perlumbaan ini, dan kami akan lihat ya pelumba-pelumba lain yang melengkapi pusingan-pusingan terakhir perlumbaan ini. Leona Chin di kedudukan nombor 14, lalu dengan Zikri, Lim, Kondrologis dan Teo.
Yeah, so Leona definitely didn't have the best of races here today. Like last race finished as well at the back of the grid there, no doubt due to some tangle that she had with some drivers early on in the race, and looks like that same fate has befallen her, though she has finished a little bit higher than she did in the last race though, so that's still credit to her. But it's been unfortunate that we didn't get to feature Leona that much here, being one of the few female drivers in Malaysia. But Edwin Lim, I have to say, he lost P4 just now to Ignatius Tan. So Ignatius actually found himself upgraded into P4 as a result. So for those guys who were following that three-way battle there, Ignatius basically came up on top.
Memanglah satu perlumbaan yang penuh drama tadi, tapi walaupun Matthew Graham merupakan pemenang kita pada perlumbaan kedua ini, satu pelumba yang perlu disorotkan adalah Wei Seong yang kini telah pun mencatatkan pusingan lengkap yang terpantas, di mana Matthew Graham berjaya memenangi kedudukan pertama kita pada perlumbaan kedua di dalam kategori amatur di eRacing GP Malaysia dan Singapura ini.
Yes, exactly right, Nick. And man, what an eventful couple of races it's been here for the amateur class. But nevertheless, we're going to be going into the pro class pretty soon. But definitely we're going to be hearing from Alex and Des. We're going to be hearing their thoughts very soon. So Nick, any last thoughts you'd like to share before we go?
Bagi para penonton yang telah pun datang dan melihat dan menonton segala aksi ini, jangan lupa ketikkan like kepada page kita iaitu eRacing GP Southeast Asia. So janganlah lupa nak segala-gala update, segala-gala maklumat yang terlibat dengan eRacing GP, tolonglah ketik like kepada page-nya, follow segala maklumat, segala notifikasi semua telah pun disediakan bagi anda. So Victor, ada kata-kata pemisah sebelum kami memberikan kepada Des dan juga Alex?
Nope, I think that's about it. So thank you very much for watching, and to you, Des and
Thanks very much to Victor Ang and to Nick, who took us through the bilingual commentary of two terrific racers in the Amateurs Series. The first race run by Akinia Cho. He crashed out, didn't finish race number 2, and so the victor instead going to Matty Graham. But my word, Alex Young, Matty came under the most immense pressure on the last lap. He had such a big lead. What do you think went wrong with him? Was that a tyre issue on the last lap for him?
I think he just made a couple of mistakes because it didn't seem to be a gradual catch up, did it? He just kind of went from there to there. But what an exciting race. All three cars right next to each other as they crossed the line. Very exciting indeed. Matthew, though, he had great pace in the beginning, in the middle. Maybe the tyre wear was causing him to be a bit more inconsistent because you could see his lap times going up and down. But also just behind him, what a battle between Wei Xiong and Brian Teo, Hafiz Brian Teo. Really, really good battle. I enjoyed that tremendously.
And a double podium it was for Wei Xiong as well. But he had a couple of instances in the second race where he looked like he was really going to take third place, blew it, and then got those 3 places back again.
Yeah, so that was quite impressive. I thought, okay, that's him. He's done and dusted. But he did. He just dived down the insides. I think that he was a little bit lucky also because a couple of those drivers saw him coming in the rearview mirror and were like, okay, I'm not going to close the door here because otherwise it's going to be instant. But yeah, so I think it fired him up. That small mistake definitely fired him up. Actually, there were 2 mistakes, weren't there, Des?
That's certainly, well, there was a lot more mistakes, but it was very good for the amateurs. Wei Xiong will probably go unofficially top of the leaderboard in this Causeway Series because he'll pick up 16 points in both the races. He picked up the fastest lap in both races and he was fastest in qualification as well. So he'll be on something like about 41 points. That's a really nice haul from the first weekend.
Yes, very, very good haul indeed. Kino Teo, can we go back to race 1? He really dominated race 1, didn't he? He was really good. I think I don't think he'll be second. I think, like you said, Brian Teo will be second now. But I think Kino might be third or fourth. Bit unlucky. I just heard from him. He had a mechanical failure. Something wrong happened with the sim, with the steering. And that caused him to spin off. So that's where we saw him go to the wall and lost the wing. So he didn't bother restarting after that. So that was a bit of a shame, but yeah, still, it's nicely mixed up. We saw a lot of drivers at the front, and they kept changing positions. So I think we have a pretty good mixture of drivers in the AM class at the moment.
So that was the Causeway Edition Amateur class. We're about 13 minutes or so away from the second category that we've got, which is the Pro class. You've got the starters, the competitors that we're going to see in the Pro class. Can we just have maybe look at the graphic there, because there's 1 or 2 very familiar names. I mean, Miko Nasi almost instantaneously and Alif Hamilton, they're the 2 that really spring out at you. If you've been following the Global Edition, those 2 are class drivers. Alif in particular is waltzing away with the Global Edition category after 5 of the 6 rounds. Miko Nasi, though, is always there or thereabouts and is a very strong competitor in a very strong field.
Yeah, it definitely is. So like you said, Nasi and Hamilton have both won in global class, but we also got some really good guys here. Just in if you look at number 2 and number 3, Ayman Hazik, and I know it says Shinobu Kocho, but that's actually Ayman Hakim. So the 2 Aymans in second and third there, they're being, they're very quick. Ayman Hazik actually just won the MEM lockdown series that ended last Sunday, so he'll be a driver that'll be right up there for sure. And then Konobu, I can't pronounce that, Shinobu Kocho, Ayman Hakim, he'll be also very quick as well. He finished 4th in the Global Edition on Sunday, so he'll be very quick. Haris Zephyr, he did a really good time in the leaderboards. I'm not sure if he's got the experience to stay up there. Jason Tay, Singaporean, is also very quick. Got real life driver, WTCR driver Mitchell Chia in 8. Melvin Moe, also a very experienced driver, GT driver, touring car driver from around the region, factory driver as well. Mohammed Nabil, Des, is the younger brother of Nakib. We saw him go very strong earlier in the season in the AM class in the Global Edition. He won 2 races. Not as experienced as his brother, but I'm keen to see how he does. I definitely have my eye on him. Some of the drivers back there, Dominic Ang, very experienced. Alistair Young, a Formula 4 race winner. Ruben Wong at the back, he's also a Global Edition driver. Tunku Ezan as well. And Yevan David right at the back. He's a young Singaporean, Sri Lankan Singaporean, 13 years old. Nice to see some youth in there too.
You've got a few more Malaysians in there than Singaporeans, but Singapore certainly well represented. Ryan Keith we saw in the Global Edition yesterday. Yevan we've seen drive a couple of times. But although there's more Malaysians, Alif and Miko, they are surely the drivers to beat.
Yeah, I think so. Them and the 2 Ironmans, they'll be really hard. They'll be fighting for the win, I think, today.
Okay, we're just getting ready to get the drivers out on the circuit. Alex and I'll just have a little chat in between the guys going out for the final practice. Alex, your version, your idea to set up the amateur class and the pro class. What's your thinking on that? Because surely the amateur guys will think, hey, I can take on the pro boys.
Yeah, they probably could for about a corner before they go off. No, there's different levels. I mean, the good thing I like about sim racing is if you want to win, you have to put in the practice time. You have to do the practice time. And that's kind of different from real racing, because real racing, you're not in the car that often. So quite often, if you have a lot of experience, it doesn't matter if you don't practice, you're still going to be ahead of some of the other guys who haven't had that sort of experience. So the good guys tend to stay up there a lot longer, even if they don't practice so much. But in sim racing, it doesn't matter. If you don't practice, you're going to be at the back, because there's so much to take in, and it's so hard to get to the top. So the pro guys are the guys who practice every day, a couple hours, 3-4 hours every day. So it's very hard for a lot of the amateur drivers who have day jobs to come in and compete against them. Almost impossible, really. A lot of these guys, even with this lockdown and everyone working from home, still have day jobs. So it's tough for them to come in and compete against the pros. So the AM class is for those guys that can just kind of come in and enjoy and relax. And also, more importantly, it allows a lot of beginners who want to get serious, but they can learn with the AMs first. The intensity is not so high. They're not going to get knocked off every corner, so they can learn a bit and then hopefully get the level up, and we'll watch them, and we think the level's up. We can tell by, it's not just about setting a quick lap time, they have to have the racecraft as well. When that racecraft kind comes up, the lap time kind of gets there, then we'll put them into the pro class. And at the moment we only have 2 classes, Des, but you know, as we go further and we can fine-tune this more, we might end up with 3 or 4 different classes.
Yeah, this is round 1 of the Causeway edition. Alistair Young is the architect of everything that's been going on. Alex, oh gosh, because your boy Alistair is in the race, I've mentally got him there. Gosh, every time. Yeah. Apologies, Alex.
No
it just means you look like a kid again.
Yes.
But he's the architect. Right, I believe that we've got the drivers out on the practice circuit as well. Let's go to Zandvoort and maybe just have a little look at some of the key participants. Alif Hamilton, of course. It's a nickname, Hamilton, that he's given, but he's earned it from what he's done in sim racing so far. Let's get on board with him. Just behind him, we've got 8 minutes or so of practice. We'll just chat around a couple of the key players and maybe a flying lap from Alex before we hand over to our commentary team of Nick and Victor Ang. So Alif, around Zandvoort, very different challenge to what we've seen on any of the Global Edition series so far.
Yes, very different. Cars are completely different, and even the track, you know, it's an old school track. Very enjoyable to drive, but very hard. You have to be very precise on these old school tracks. You know, we go to the Global Edition tracks like Buriram, Sepang. You're just like, oh, I'm not sure I got it quite right. You just keep your foot in. You run wide, you come back on the track, no problem. You can be a bit lazy. These sort of old school tracks, you can't. There's no runoff. The curbs are very small and often quite high, so you have to place it millimeter perfect. If you're not, you're going to be off into the barrier, and that's what makes it, especially for the AM drivers. The pro drivers maybe not so much, but the AM drivers especially, it's a very tricky track to drive. Nonetheless, it's very satisfying when you get this sort of track right, because it's so fast.
Okay, Alif is here. I was just going to say, he's about to take us on a flying lap. Don't think we can. We're not too far away. Miko Nassi might be able to give us a flying. I'd love you to talk us around the 15 corners of Zandvoort, because there's some sweeping, beautiful straights where you just kink in and out. It looks a beautiful driver's track, but you make a mistake and you're in mighty big trouble.
Yeah, let's see who we can follow. Let's try and follow someone going down the start-finish straight. So we can. There's Mitchell coming out of the pit lane. Harris there. Dominic Ang. Oh, having a little spin.
Yeah, we won't do Dominic.
We won't do Dominic. Melvin's just started his lap. How about Jaden? Or Mohammed Nabil. Okay, let's follow Nabil, shall we?
Yeah, this will be fun.
He's coming down the start-finish straight now. Flat out. Now breaking for turn 1. Tarzan, it's called Tarzan, heavily banked. Second gear, but you can carry a lot of speed through there. I think it's even third gear for some of the drivers. So couldn't quite hear the revs through there. Now we call this turn 2 really. It's just a lift, maybe a touch of brake before turn 3 here. Turn 3, probably one of the most important corners on the track. Very hard to get right, but it sets you up for this long straight, so you need to get a good exit. I don't really call these corners, but I think on the track map they refer to them as 4 and 5. Because it's easy full throttle through here. Now turn 6, Chevlak, It's very fast, heavily banked, carries so much speed. When I did A1 here, you could really feel the loading through your neck, and your neck was very tired because of that one corner by the end of the race. Turn 7, very precise, not too much curb. See how much curb they have in the exit there. You put one wheel off, that's it. You're on the grass and then into the barrier. Turn 8, didn't get it quite right there. Understeered off. Now turn 9, you're in this corner for a long time. They call it Vodafone corner. You've got to get the balance right through there. You get it wrong, you hemorrhage time all the way down this straight as well. Now we call this turn 10. Oh, we were about to go to the really slow chicane, which is interesting to drive, very tricky to do. And then there would have been a couple more corners, and you would have been back on the start-finish straight.
Well, it gives us an idea. Miko Nasi is the man on the circuit.
Yep. So this is the part. Nasi and Alif, they've done so much sim racing that they seem to be quick in any sim car you put them in. This is that turn 10 I was talking to you about. Slowest part of the track. Very, very slow. You got to really slow it down. Don't want to be too greedy and take too much curb. You take too much curb, you're all over the place. Now down the short straight to turn 12. Again, a very important corner, because you got to get the exit out of here, because you're full throttle out of that corner for a really long time. Full throttle through turn 13, the Ari Light. I can't pronounce his name, but he's ex-IndyCar driver, very good Dutch IndyCar driver, and on to the start finish straight. Nice lap there by Miko Nasi, and he's gone quickest, 38.3.
38.3 is pretty good. Alex Young with a truncated flying lap there around Zandvoort. Let's now head you over to our commentary team, who'll be taking us through the two 15-minute races, one on a usual qualification and then a reverse grid straight away. Let's introduce our commentary team today, who are Victor Ang and Nick.
Let's see if they're there, guys. Are you guys there?
Apa khabar para penonton sekalian? Selamat datang balik kembali kepada eRacing GP Malaysia dan Singapura, di mana kami akan lihat Faza berlatih, di mana kami akan lihat sebanyak 21 pemandu di dalam kategori profesional. Sebelum apa-apa, kami memperkenalkan diri kita. Kami adalah para pasukan pengulas anda. Dalam bahasa Melayu, saya adalah Nick. Bersama dengan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris adalah komentar Victor.
Hey, thank you very much, Nick. Back for another race here on Zandvoort. This time, it's going to be the pro class, and boy, what a dude it's going to be. So, how does the pro class differ from the amateur class? It's very simple. These guys are comprised of mostly professional drivers or sim racers, and these guys are definitely going to be some of the best driving you're going to see on this track here today.
All right, Victor. Before we would like to begin the race, we're in the practice laps right now.
Okay.
Your mic keeps cutting off for some reason. Is there a possibility for you to maybe remove your peak limiter or something? Because it keeps cutting off when you get. Sometimes it cuts off in the middle of your commentary. Victor,
What's that?
Can you hear me? Okay, maaf para penonton sekalian, kami ada masalah teknikal sikit daripada bahagian Victor pula. Rasanya ada masalah teknikal dari segi audio dia. So pada para penonton kita, sebelum kita bermula kepada fasa qualifying kita, kami akan memperterima kasihkan kepada penaja-penaja kita, Racer Room, Persatuan Sukan Motor Malaysia dan juga Stratos Motorsports. Itulah penaja-penaja kita. Ribuan terima kasih kerana sokongan mereka. Tanpa mereka, semua ini tidak akan menjadi apa-apa. So Victor, haraplah masalah teknikal anda telah pun dibereskan.
Yep, I hope hearing loud and clear your side. So I hope you guys are hearing my voice loud and clear as well. Apologies for that slight technical issue, but hopefully we'll be able to get started with some good racing here. Currently, we are watching Alistair Young, son of Alex Young, and definitely someone who is looking to make his daddy proud here today, as he's currently taking us on a lap through Zandvoort at the moment. And Oh yeah, I do like to say I'm really enjoying the love that I'm seeing over at the chats in both on Facebook as well as Twitch. We are broadcasting right now on Facebook and Twitch here. So if you guys want to see a different perspective here, I would also like to shout out Miko Nasi, who is sharing his own Twitch stream right now. He's streaming his perspective of the race. So if you just like to see what it's like, to be in the thick and thin of the racing itself, you can go ahead and check out Miko Nasi's channel. Shout out to him. So Nick, we got 30 seconds left on a practice here, and I think these drivers are definitely getting a bit angsty and want to actually get on with the race itself. But what are your thoughts so far?
Bagi saya lah, daripada apa yang telah pun dikatakan oleh Alex dengan Dez tadi, di mana mereka telah pun memperbincangkan pemandu-pemandu kita, antara mereka Miko Nasi dengan Alif Hamilton merupakan pelumba-pelumba yang perlu disorotkan kerana mereka adalah global class, memanglah antara terbaik di ladang. Tapi kami akan juga kena lihat kepada prestasi yang akan dikemukakan oleh Aiman Haziq, merupakan MAN champion, juara MAN Lockdown Championship hari itu yang telah pun berlangsung pada minggu lepas ataupun beberapa hari lepas tidak silap saya.
Yes, exactly. I mean, these racers have actually been racing each other for quite a while here on the eRacing Grand Prix channel. So if you guys wanted to follow, the developments of the eRacing GP, you can go ahead and give a like to this page and follow it to keep up to date, of what's going on with the sim racing scene. We've got lots of really talented sim racers here in Malaysia and Singapore, and I love to be able to show you guys the best drivers that we have here in the country. And it's always a pleasure to see these boys whenever they go racing.
Ya, memanglah nak lihat bakat-bakat yang menonjolkan diri di Lita Virtual Zandvoort ni, memanglah buat saya gembira lah nak lihat bakat-bakat mereka ditonjolkan di Lita tersebut. So memang satu peluang yang memang bagus lah yang disediakan oleh Race Room, Persatuan Sukan Motor Malaysia dan juga 100 Motorsport untuk menyediakan satu platform bagi anak-anak Malaysia dan Singapura, dan juga ada satu, tidak silap saya, anak Sri Lanka Singapura yang bertarung di dalam perlumbaan ini, tidak silap saya, Victor.
Yeah, and that's the thing I always admire about Singapore is that the amount of diversity you have in terms of people from many different backgrounds, not just ethnically but also professionally as well. So yeah, we're seeing a kid from Bangladesh. We also see Miko Nasi, who is I believe he's from Finland. And the thing is that we're seeing lots of international cast here, even though this is a Malaysia versus Singapore race effectively. So it's certainly interesting to see like the amount of diversity and talent that we have here in this race alone.
Memanglah bakat-bakat tersebut bukan saja daripada latar belakang yang begitu lain daripada yang lain, namun pengalaman mereka yang akan diberikan kepada semua pelumba memanglah satu peluang yang begitu bagus kepada semua semua pelumba-pelumba yang ingin menceburi bidang e-racing, e-perlumbaan ini.
And that's one thing I also wanted to point out, especially during this MCO. We're seeing a lot of interest in sim racing as of late, especially from those in the motorsports community. And there's certainly also been a lot of discussions, amongst them about how or what sim racing is, in comparison to real motorsports. And I certainly think those conversations are very, very important, especially when we talk about the future of the sport itself. We know that motorsport has been seeing a decline in recent years when it comes to viewership numbers, especially in the US. And we're hoping that, by doing initiatives like this, where we're not only, showing something completely new to I think is the general public has never really seen before, which is professional sim racing, and we're also exposing a new generation of kids, to the excitement and as well as the thrill of motorsports, through a virtual screen. And I believe that is kind of like one of the most amazing things, that I really love about sim racing itself.
Rasanya diversity yang memang ada tu memang terlalu banyak, terlalu luas di dalam komuniti ini, Victor. Tapi tidak silap saya, ada beberapa remaja yang bertarung di dalam perlumbaan ini. Satu iaitu Alistair Yong, iaitu anak Alex Yong tu. Rasanya 18 tahun, agak remaja lah tu kan, golongan umur tu. And
Yeah, true.
satu lagi yang 13 tahun ni, we have a teenager in our midst as well. I don't remember what's his name in the standings, but I was pretty sure that it was mentioned by Alex and Des
yeah.
when they were breaking it down just now.
Yeah, I think it would be Zeke maybe, but in any case, yeah, the thing is that this is one of the amazing things about motorsports and sim racing and motorsports in general is that age doesn't become a barrier, and in fact it comes an advantage sometimes, because younger people, and we know this, especially Nick, because you're an esport personality yourself, the younger you are, the faster your reaction times are, and those are the kind of attributes that are important, especially in motorsports.
Boleh dikatakan teori boleh dibawa, boleh ditajamkan. So bila dipraktikkan, lagi banyak kelebihan bila dimasuk dalam lita sebenar daripada lita virtual. So bila ada pengalaman dalam lita virtual, banyak pengajaran yang boleh diambil daripada lita virtual ni boleh dikeluarkan dan digunakan di dalam lita sebenar. So memanglah banyak kelebihan yang boleh diambil daripada peluang-peluang tersebut. Tapi kami akan lihat fasa qualifier telah pun lengkap dan selesai bagi semua pelumba-pelumba ini, dan kami berada di dalam garaj dan bersedia untuk berlumba di dalam kategori profesional kita pada hari ini di eRacing GP Malaysia dan Singapura di Lita Virtual Zandvoort.
That's right. 30 seconds left before the start. We're seeing here the overview of the map here at Zandvoort. 15 turns, 15 heart-stopping, fast and unrelenting turns here, all through the old and venerable Zandvoort circuit. We're all on the grid now, lined up, professional and sim racing drivers alike, in a battle of skills in the most even of playing fields. Here we go. This is going to be the race start here. The red lights are on. Alif right now in the lead, and they are off. Alif having a pretty okay start so far, but it looks like the Tay is able to get himself into the lead right now, and Haziq also slips in behind him, using the slipstream to get ahead in Tarzan. Very defensive line taken by Tay here. He wants to play very safe throughout this first segment of the race, but already we've seen some drivers losing it out to the side there. I think that's Ang out there in number 21. He's gone off into the sand traps, unfortunately. Jason Tay still leading the race for now. Haziq following very closely behind him, and Muhammad Ali in third. Miko Nasi following in fourth, very closely in this, what I can say is almost a six-way battle now going on for the race. As we're right now riding with Melvin Moore, currently at P7, looking at the orange car in front of him. That is Muhammad Nabil, trying to look for an opportunity to overtake Ayman Hakim. Ayman Hakim, who is known as a very tenacious sim racer here in Malaysia, is one of the fastest guys I know in real Sims as well as in real life, and he is definitely trying to hold on to his position as best he can. A very, very defensive driver as well. And look at that, a bit of contact here on the Chua Sing Han as Zephyr Ray is trying to find the inside here, but unfortunately he's going to find the next corner. It's going to be outside. Will he be able to outbrake him going to the turn? The thing is, Mo is right in front of the two of them, so they have to judge their lines very, very carefully, but it looks like Zephyr Ray has done it. He takes the inside line, perfect maneuver there, and he upgrades himself into P8.
Memang satu perlawanan yang begitu cantik di antara pelumba-pelumba di top 10 kita. Kedudukan-kedudukan mereka telah pun berubah, di mana sekelip mata kami akan lihat kedudukan Jason Tay berada di kedudukan nombor 1, namun kami akan lihat kedudukan dia mungkin terjejas daripada Haziq. Haziq cuba di luar garis lumba itu, cuba sebaik mungkin untuk melawan, tapi telah pun menjejaskan kedudukan dia kepada Alif, tapi Haziq berjaya untuk menahan kedudukan dia kedua. Dan kami akan lihat Jason Tay tetap akan berpegang kepada nombor 1, dan kami akan lihat Muhammad Alif sekarang cuba menekan kepada Haziq. Haziq akan rasai tekanan-tekanan yang ada keluar daripada lekongan tersebut, dan kami akan lihat Aiman Haziq sekarang bercuba sebaik mungkin untuk mempertahankan segala tekanan yang datang daripada Muhammad Alif. Memang drama yang begitu banyak berlangsung di Lita Virtual Zandvoort ini, di mana pusingan telah pun selesai sebanyak 2. Kami akan lengkapkan pusingan ketiga sebentar lagi yang akan datang, dan kami akan lihat perlawanan tersebut akan berlangsung antara mereka. Kedudukan nombor 1, 2 dan 3 mungkin bakal bertukar, dan kami akan lihat kedudukan nombor 8 dan 9 antara Zefri Syahmi dan juga Moh telah pun bertukar antara satu sama lain, tetap tidak akan ada apa-apa perubahan. Muhammad Nabil akan menjadi pandangan pilihan kita buat sementara ini, Victor.
Yeah, you can see the level of difference in skill when it comes to these drivers here. Compared to the amateur class, these guys are following so much more closely to each other. They're very confident inside their own cars, and no more so than Muhammad Ali. You know, if anyone who knows Ali in real life can attest to this, he's a very fiercely competitive person, and he definitely will be continually attacking Hazik for the next 11 minutes. You know, he's going to constantly try to get into P2, but as well in the back of the grid there, you know, in the orange car, you know, Mo, he's trying his best right now to try to regain some position. He's dropped all the way into P10 now, with Zephyr now in P7 right behind Muhammad Nabil. And Aman Akeem, though, he's now in P5. He's currently battling Miko Nasi, trying his best to get himself into P4. And the thing is, Ayman Akeem, he's known to be very aggressive, especially when he's on the chase here. And I really want to see if Miko Nasi is up to the task of holding out despite all that pressure.
Kami akan lihat dia daripada segi pandangan Miko Nasi sekarang berpegang pada kedudukan nombor 4 dan Ahmad Haziq sekarang kedudukan nombor 2. Memang it's expected to see from the MAM lockdown champion kepada kedudukan nombor 2 tadi tu. Tapi kami lihat dia daripada Muhammad Nabil sekarang berpegang kepada keretanya yang bermandian oren. Memang satu kereta yang boleh dikatakan menonjolkan mata, mencocok mata.
Yeah, it's a very appropriate. Yeah, to your point, it's a very appropriate color actually for Zandvoort as well. Orange is the national color of Holland, so yeah, he's definitely dressing up for the occasion here, Muhammad Nabil.
Kedudukannya memang boleh dikatakan sedap jugalah di kedudukan nombor 6. So haraplah kereta oren ni boleh berjaya untuk meningkatkan kedudukannya di dalam standing tersebut. Kami akan lihat ya, Jason Tay sekarang tetap berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1. Jaraknya lagi berpanjangan antaranya dengan Ayman Haziq.
All right, we're seeing some cars moving off to the side there. I believe that's a battle going on between Miko Nasi and Ayman Akeem. Ayman Akeem seems to be able to get on the inside of him, going down to Tarzan. What a nice move there from Ayman Akeem. Very clean as well, without any trouble at all. But Miko Nasi now still able to stay right into P4 for now. As Muhammad Nabil says, the opportunity is going to try to close the gap between him and Ayman Akeem. As Miko Nasi desperate to try to hold on to that P4. Ayman Akeem attempting to find an opening here, but this is not going to be easy here, especially on this part of Zandvoort. This is very narrow. You have to think of Zandvoort like all of those old tracks, just like Monaco or the old Nürburgring, where it's very difficult to overtake it. Ayman Akeem is using every last bit of his skill here, trying to find inside line. He dives for it here. Oh boy, doesn't quite find the speed, unfortunately, though. It looks like Nabil is trying to find himself in the fray as well. He dives on the inside, he attacks it, he pushes against Ayman Akeem, and now Nabil is finding himself into P5, but Akeem still has the inside line going here. Nabil is still holding on despite all the pressure. He takes the outside, he has the speed, he has the ability. He is going to be going side by side along with Ayman Akeem as they battle all the way down to the next corner. Miko Nasi still ahead. He's just going to be watching this battle with bated breath right now as it unfolds inside his rearview mirror as Ayman Akeem maintains his position of P5 and holds up the pressure on Muhammad Nabil, who now are coming down to the final few corners here on Zandvoort.
Nabil sekarang cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menunjukkan warna oranye tetap berbisa ke arah Hakim sekarang, tapi jaraknya begitu jauh. Tapi kami akan lihat tadi Hakim bersama dengan Nasi berlawan antara satu sama lain. Tekanan yang ada kepada Nasi memanglah satu benda yang begitu menakutkan bagi Miko Nasi. Menekan satu sama lain. Memang Hakim tadi memang menunjukkan taringnya berdekatan dengan Nasi sebaik mungkin, tapi Nasi dengan disiplin, dengan sabar berpegang kepada kedudukannya. Sekarang kami akan kepada pandangan Jason Tay. Di belakangnya adalah Haziq, cuba sebaik mungkin untuk memperbaiki, untuk meningkatkan kedudukannya ke dalam carta kedudukan tersebut. Oh, Alif sekarang cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menekan kepada Haziq. Namun Haziq sebaik mungkin untuk memberi untuk mempertahankan garis perlumbaannya. Kami akan lihat Muhammad Alif sekarang mengikuti dia, cuba cari sebaik mungkin untuk slipstream, tapi mungkinkah Ayman Haziq itu telah tutupkan pintu kepadanya, lalu menafikan peluang satu lagi memakan apex dalam dan luar cari satu lagi peluang daripada Alif. Lalu Jason Tay memang seronok, memang suka sangat, memang sedap sangat mengalami benteng yang telah pun disediakan oleh Haziq. Kami akan lihat Alif sedikit demi sedikit cuba sebaik mungkin untuk mencucuk Haziq, tapi tidak berjaya untuk mencucuknya. Satu lagi lekok akan datang dan satu lagi peluang akan mengemukakannya.
I mean, if you want a clear example of what it is like, you know, at eRacing at the highest level, you can see how Alif is constantly throughout all these corners maintaining the highest possible speed just so they can stay as close as possible to Haziq's bumper as possible. And that means that whenever it comes to the exits, he's always going to be on his tail, and that ensures that he's always in a position to attack Haziq no matter the circumstances. So brilliant driving here going on from Muhammad Alif, and definitely a masterclass on how you can just keep pressure on your opponent through an entire race.
Memanglah tertakluk kepada kebolehan setiap pemandu bermain di dalam Lita Virtual Zandvoort ini. Terima kasih lagi sekali kepada penaja kita Race Room, Persatuan Sukan Motor Malaysia dan juga 100 Motorsport memberikan peluang kepada kami semua bekerja dan berseronok pada masa PKP ini. Dan memang diperlukan sangat masa-masa untuk menghiburkan diri dan berseronok. Betul tak, Victor?
Oh yes, this is certainly entertainment that is worthy of this MCO right now. Ali constantly chasing up against the back end of Haziq, and as well as Miko Nasi now facing a lot of pressure as Ayman Hakim has already closed the gap between him and Miko Nasi. And in fact, if you want to see what the race is like from his perspective, go to twitch.tv/Miko Nasi. He's streaming right now his own perspective, so you can see in real time his battle against Ayman Hakim. And boy, what a battle it is right now. Like, I'm gonna keep literally up against his tail here. He should be able to get a slipstream going up his final few corners, and he needs that speed though, because he wants to be able to stay alongside him going down that main straight. Nico Nasi now trying his best to hold on. Ayman Hakim just eating up that curb there in order to try to maintain a good and fast line here as it comes down towards the straight. Now going an absolute breakneck speed here. The draft is working very well here for Ayman Hakim. He's slowly closing the gap, but will he be able to outbreak Miko Nasi going to Tarzan? This is going to be wild. Swinging in, he goes from the outside. He tries to go into the tangle. He switches around, tries to go to the inside here. Doesn't quite make it. Unfortunately though, Miko Nasi is positioning the car very well there, preventing Ayman Hakim from finding any opening here to attack.
Cara perlumbaan yang memang handal yang datang daripada Miko Nasi memanglah terbaik di ladang, memang kenal, memang terbagus daripada datangnya daripada global class pelumba kita. Miko Nasi ini daripada Singapura. Namun kami akan lihat Ayman Hakim daripada Malaysia cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menekan Miko Nasi, tapi Miko Nasi sebaik mungkin nampak Ayman Hakim menekannya lalu menutup pintu. Sekali lagi kami akan lihat Ayman Hakim cuba sebaik mungkin. Satu lagi cuba. Nice. Ada Ayman Hakim cuba. Cubaan dia akan berjaya. Dia akan cuba sebaik mungkin untuk memakan ke dalam garis pelumba dan itulah dia. Ayman Hakim tak pun berjaya untuk memecah nama motor Miko Nasi. Tapi Miko Nasi datang masuk balik. Adakah Miko Nasi terbabas keluar? Tapi tidak. Miko Nasi daripada nombor 4 telah pun jatuh kepada kedudukan nombor 6, Victor. Memang banyak drama dalam perlumbaan ini.
My goodness, that was such a heart-stopping moment there. Miko Nasi almost loses it. He tried to attack very aggressively onto the inside line of Ayman Hakim and unfortunately misjudged his turning there. He got a little bit of understeer and unfortunately rammed himself up against the side of Ayman Hakim there. Fortunately enough, he's able to recover, but not before Muhammad Nabil is able to pass him to take P5 away from Miko Nasi. So Ayman Hakim now in the P4, he's definitely going to try to gun for the podium, but he has to stay off pressure here as Muhammad Nabil in that bright orange car is still inside his rearview mirror.
Tekanan yang datang daripada Hakim tadi akhirnya menjadikan hasil baginya, namun Nasi menerima malapetaka yang datang daripada Hakim lalu ditekan bertubi-tubi oleh Hakim tadi. Memanglah begitu berdebar tekanan yang datang daripada Hakim ke arah Miko Nasi tadi, Victor.
Yeah, we're seeing a very tight battle happen here. This is going to be for P14. That's Wong versus Singh. Going down towards the straight here. They are both from Malaysia and they are battling right now for supremacy here along this section of Zandvoort. A very difficult section of Zandvoort as well. Ruben Wong right now in the leading car. He's trying his best right now to try to block the line here from Singh, preventing him from making an overtake, and it's very crucial that he maintains the line, especially on this part of Zandvoort. Very tricky double apex corner. In fact, you could even call it a triple apex at times. But in any case, look at that. Ruben Wong just swinging around wildly here, just showing the door for just a moment before he closes it in front of Singh. Is definitely trying his best now to keep Kavinder Singh from being able to get past him, but it looks like Singh has the trap. He's going to try to attack from the outside here. Ruben Wong, unfortunately, gets outbraked here by Kavinder Singh. Kavinder knows he wants to get the inside. Oh, bit of contact there from the side, but Ruben Wong is able to maintain position and closes the door on him, in fact, as Kavinder Singh clears the chicane. They are still going to continue this battle on to the final few corners here. Breaking, not getting good line there, unfortunately, Singh. He's not going to be able to get up to the P14 yet, I feel.
Kami akan lihat ya daripada kedudukan nombor 2 Jason Tay dan Alif akan berlawan antara satu sama lain, dan kami akan lihat jarak antara Jason Tay dan Alif berdekatan, dan kami akan lihat Jason Tay akan menerima tekanan daripada Alif namun tidak begitu menakutkan tekanan yang datang daripada Alif sebab jarak yang datang daripada Jason Tay agak jauh antaranya, dan kami akan lihat Haziq tadi dan Akim akan melawan antara satu sama lain dengan mereka di kedudukan nombor 3 dan 4. Nabil sekarang bersama dengan Zefri Syami berpegang pada kedudukan nombor 5 dan 6. Alif sekarang bertegang kepada Jason Tay kepada pusingan seterusnya. Mereka akan berpegang pada Apex tersebut, dan kami akan lihat Nabil sekarang tidak terlalu jauh daripada Akim.
Yeah, I won't blame you for messing up Zefri Shami's name, because that is certainly a mouthful, especially for us commentators here. But yeah, Alif has somehow managed to upgrade himself to P2 here. No doubt from mistake here from Haziq. So Haziq now down into P3. So two Singaporeans now are leading the pro class, and they are battling right now for the lead. Alif Hamilton and Jason Tay. And boy, it's going to be a battle for the line now. They are coming around. Final few seconds now for the end of the race. Alif now trying his best to chase against Jason Tay, but the gap is still insurmountable. Jason Tay should be able to come across the line here with the lead. And is the race actually over?
Kami akan lihat perlumbaan
last lap. It's going to be a last lap battle here. It's going to be a last lap battle between Jason Tay and Muhammad Alif. So the race is not quite over yet. Jason Tay is going to continue to try to hold back Muhammad Alif and take the win here. And Alif is not going to let go. He's going to fight to the bitter end.
Alif cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menekan kepada Jason Tay. Satu lagi pusingan perlu dilengkapkan sebelum kedudukan mereka tercatat. So, banyak lagi peluang yang akan datang kepada Muhammad Alif ke arah Jason Tay. Tetapi kami akan lihat Jason Tay tetap berpegang kepada kedudukan dia nombor 1. Dan kami akan lihat daripada AR Muhammad Alif sekarang di dalam keretanya bermandian biru. Cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menekan kepada Tay, namun Tay sebaik mungkin tekanan dirasai mengambil jarak yang sebolehnya oleh Jason Tay. Tapi kami akan lihat Alif sekarang cuba sebaik mungkin untuk keluar daripada garis perlumbaan tersebut, untuk menyerang daripada luar. Tapi kami akan lihat Tay sebaik mungkin akan menutup pintu dan menafikan peluang ke arah Alif. Alif sebaik mungkin memasuki kepada pusingan-pusingan tersebut. Akan cuba untuk menekannya, Victor.
Last two quarters now. Alif, he's been chasing so hard against Jason Tay. He's trying to find a good insight here. He has a slipstream now. They're going to be going flat out through this last corner here. Not quite banked yet. They are going towards the line here. Alif Hamilton, does he have the draft? No, he does not. Jason Tay will be taking the win here. Alif Hamilton in second, Haziq in third, and Ayman Hakim in fourth place. Coming across the line as well as Muhammad Nabil in the orange car, Zefri Shami in P6. And Xi Han in 7 with a celebration there with the collision, but they've already finished the race. The positions will still count. Coming across the line as well is going to be Melvin Moore and Keith in P10. He's completing your top 10 here in the pro class.
Satu benda yang ingin diserukan adalah disiplin yang telah pun digunakan oleh Jason Tay untuk berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1-nya. Muhammad Alif tetap cuba sebaik mungkin untuk untuk menekan kepada Jason Tay, namun kedudukannya tidak akan diubah kepada kedudukan nombor 1. Jason Tay tetap akan jadi pemenangnya, tapi pusingan lengkap terlaju akan kepada Haziq di kedudukan nombor 3.
That is the standings here, ladies and gentlemen, for the pro class in race number 1 of Zandvoort. But don't fret, ladies and gentlemen, we are still going to see more action here as race 2 will be underway. And remember, this is going to be reverse grid, meaning everyone is going to be flipped on their heads. The leader is going to be starting from the back, and the last man is going to be standing from the front.
Dan inilah Lita tersebut, Lita betul Zandvoort. Dan ribuan terima kasih pada penaja kita Race Room, Malaysian Motorsports Association dan juga Stratos Motorsports. Kami akan lihat dia sebanyak 21 pemandu di dalam kategori profesional akan berlawan antara satu sama lain di dalam perlumbaan terakhir kita pada hari ini di eRacing GP Malaysia dan Singapura. Kami merupakan pasukan pengulas anda di dalam bahasa Melayu Nick dan juga bahasa English Victor.
That's right, Nick. Thank you very much. And we're going to into race 2. The red lights are on, drivers are ready, and they're off. Dominic Ang is going to be starting from the front here. He's going to try to keep the lead, but looks like he's lost it completely now. Izanli is going to be taking the lead for now. Oh no, Nico Jan is going to be able to stay up in front for now. He's going to try to go from the outside here against Alistair Young, but Alistair has the inside. He takes the lead instead. Alistair now leading a race so far as he go down, twist the very sweeping right-hand turns and immediately to a left now. Alistair Young leading the entire pack here as they continue to bump and grind against each other. Dominic Ang, unfortunately, is dropped all the way down to P4. He's going to be fighting against Cheng Ying, and he's going to try his best here to stay in his slipstream as they come up to the next bank turn. But look at that, side by side, it's going to be Kevin Spool get touchy-feely there with David as he comes around towards the next corner. But David still holding on to P9. In the meantime, in the back of the grid, Ayman Haziq fighting lots of traffic in front of him. A whole mess of cars blocking his way. Look at how narrow Zandvoort is before it starts to widen up here. Ayman Haziq trying to maintain his line, trying to maintain his speed here, and keep himself out of trouble as he's seeing lots of action happening all in front of him as the midfield continues to grind just like bumper cars.
Memang kami akan lihat ya daripada segi Lita Zandvoort memang dipenuhi dengan kereta, tapi kami akan lihat di dalam kepenuhan Lita Zandvoort ini satu akan luar daripada yang lain, iaitu Alistair Young akan berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1, tapi tidak jauh daripadanya adalah Izanli dan juga Cheng Eng. Maaf saya, dan juga Low di dalam kedudukan nombor 2, 3 dan 4 masing-masing. Tapi kami akan lihat jarak dan jarak antara Alistair Young dan Izanli tetap akan bertambah antaranya.
Yep, that's Cheng Eng. Sorry again for mispronouncing his name there, but again, Cheng Eng is doing pretty well here, staying in P3. He's currently battling against Tengku Jan Lei, and Jan Lei, you know, is he's a drifter in real life, so he definitely knows his way around a car, especially in a high-speed circuit like Zandvoort. So he's not going to be an easy person to battle here, but Cheng Eng feels that he's going to be up to the task. He's staying right onto Tengku's tail.
Kami akan lihat ya perlawanan untuk posisi nombor 1 antara Yong dan juga Lei. Dia akan cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menekannya, tapi kami akan lihat tekanan akan lebih diterima oleh Lei daripada Eng. Kedudukan nombor 2 dan 3 kami akan lihat di kedudukan nombor 6 dan 7 Wong bersama dengan Nasi yang telah pun berjaya untuk berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 4 selama satu pusingan tadi di pusingan nombor pertama kita. Nasi, adakah dia berjaya? Dia telah pun berjaya untuk memotor kepada Wong tadi pun. Dan kami akan lihat sekali lagi adakah malang berbau sekali lagi. Kami akan lihat daripada Miko Nasi kedudukan nombor 6 adakah bakal untuk memperbaiki kedudukannya, dan bakal untuk memotong adalah Miko Nasi dengan pengambilan garisan lumba di dalam. Memang cantik datang daripada Miko Nasi.
What an amazing drive here from Nasi. Again, remember, he started towards the back of the grid there, having finished in P4. But look at that. He's making his way up back into the same position as well. So he's definitely in a position to get the most points here out of these two races. But let's see if he's going to be able to continue that fight all the way to the podium. And here, because Alistair Young is currently very comfortably leading this race here. 1.5-second gap between him and Cheng Eng, who has managed to get himself past Izan Lei. So Izan now down into P3. So Alistair continuing to lead this race here. The midfield, the back end of the grid actually still looks very, very tight and competitive here. Jason Tay is still attempting his best here to get through the traffic, but finding it very hard for himself. He's still stuck into P15 and still has a long, long train of cars to go before he's going to be able to battle up into the top 10s.
Memang kemahiran pemandu-pemandu tersebut di dalam kategori profesional memang tertakluk lah. Memang betul profesional sebab kami akan lihat ya cara permainan mereka. Oh, kami akan lihat ya daripada Alif. Alif tu bersentuhan dengan Khalif. Namun Alif berjaya untuk memotonginya. Bukan Khalif, Muhammad Alif, namun Keith dan juga Nabil berjaya untuk memuting Khalif juga, dan juga T di dalam kedudukan nombor 14 juga. Khalif memang menerima malang yang datang daripada Alif tadi itu, lalu menolak dia ke bawah kepada kedudukan nombor 15.
Again, just like Miko Nasi, Muhammad Alif had to start from the back of the grid, and he's trying his best now to get through the field. But this is a very competitive field here in the pro class, not like the amateur class at all, where drivers are still very much battling very close to each other, and still lots of contact happening between these drivers as well. Alif now attempting to try to get past Mo, who is currently battling against David, the Bangladeshi driver from who's currently in Singapore. As he comes down to the straight, Alif has the draft. He's going to go. They're going to be going wide, actually, going down this towards Tarzan corner. But Alif, unfortunately, will not be able to get past Paul. As he comes down, he has the inside line here. He gets past David. He might be facing a bit of trouble here as he gets into contact with Paul. They will be continuing this battle all the way to the next corner now, but Alif has to give way here, and unfortunately, he's finding himself a bit compromised on the inside. He attacks from the outside here. He has the speed, but he doesn't have the exit. Unfortunately, getting a bit of contact, he almost gets pushed off the track there from Paul, but he still hangs on despite all that pressure.
Kami akan lihat ya tekanan-tekanan yang datang daripada pemandu-pemandu tersebut memang tidak akan melibatkan Alistair Young akibat kedudukan dia di nombor 1. Tapi kami lihat ya Nasi yang daripada kedudukan nombor 7 lalu berjaya untuk memecut bukan 1, bukan 2, namun dekat 4 atau 5 pemandu dan berjaya untuk naik kepada kedudukan nombor 3. Mungkin akan menerima tekanan yang datang daripada Nasi dan juga Yong. Walaupun Yong selesa di kedudukan nombor 1, kami akan lihat Nasi bakal memberikan tekanan kepada Eng dan juga Yong. Yong, haraplah anda tidak terlalu selesa di kedudukan anda sebab Nasi datang mengejar anda.
Yeah, Nasi has definitely been making headways all the way up to the podium now. But Cheng Young right now is really bringing the pressure to Alice. Facing some pressure here. Can he still hold on to the lead despite that? We're going to find out soon as we come along the straight. Cheng definitely has a bit of trap, but not enough here to get close to him coming down Tarzan corner. So he's going to try to see if he can maintain a good speed here through the first corner. Also, Yon taking a little bit of a wider line here, no doubt, to maintain his top speed through the bank turn. Now coming down towards this section, Cheng following very closely behind Alistair Yon, just watching, observing his line, watching for any mistakes being made on the youngster's part, but Alistair is still keeping strong in that lead.
Kami akan lihat Jun Cheng Eng akan cuba sebaik mungkin untuk mengambil kesempatan atas kesilapan yang akan datang daripada Alistair Young. Alistair Young tetap menunjukkan cara pemanduan yang begitu berdisiplin, mengikuti garis pemanduan yang begitu elok, dan Eng memerhatikan saja dan menunggu sebagai ular di dalam semak untuk mematuk Alistair Young. Tapi jarak yang ada daripada Alistair Young akan menambah antaranya kalau Alistair Young berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1-nya dengan disiplin, dengan mengikut garis perlumbaan yang disediakan. Memanglah sedap Alistair Young akan berpegang kepada kedudukan itu. Namun Eng akan berada di belakangnya sebagai ular yang telah pun dikatakan oleh saya tadi, untuk menunggu kesilapan yang akan datang daripada Young.
Yeah, and that was a very apt way to describe Cheng Eng right now, you know, like a snake in the bush, but like a snake as well. Jaden Lowe just passed Zan Lei now to take away P4, and that was a bit of a mistake there, I think, from Tengku's side. So unfortunate for him, he's going to have to try to claw his way back now into P4. But definitely Jaden Low is feeling very, very confident after making that move. But speaking of moves now, Ali is about to make one, and he's doing it right onto Mo. Melvin Mo right now trying his best to try to stay on the outside, but Ali takes on the inside the blue car, able to find his way through it, and he is going to be up into P6.
Memang mengambil kesempatan daripada slipstream yang disediakan oleh Melvin Moore. Sekarang Muhammad Alif berjaya untuk memperbaiki kedudukannya, lalu memotong Melvin Moore dan tinggalkan dia di belakangnya, di dalam cermin belakangnya. So memang cantik yang datang daripada Muhammad Alif, lalu memotong Melvin Moore dengan cantik, mengambil kesempatan slipstream yang telah pun disediakan oleh Melvin Moore tadi itu. Memang cantik sangat, Victor.
Yeah, and Alif now seeing his next target, Tengku, right in front of him. He has given up his slipstream here to Alif, the most of it, staying right up against his tail through these corners here, but this is going to be a very difficult one. Alif tries to make for the dive, but then Tengku is not giving way at all. He still maintains good exit speed coming out of that corner, but the next corner, he finds it a little bit compromised, but Alif still isn't able to get through. Tengku Zanlei still able to stay in P5.
Zanlei sekarang tidak bagi muka kepada Alif, lalu Alif cuba sebaik mungkin untuk menyerang. Menyentuh sentuhan antara Alif ke arah Zanlei. Memanglah begitu. Tidak sengaja, tapi boleh katakan kotor jugalah sentuhan tersebut daripada Alif ke arah Zanlei. Namun Zanlei memang senyumlah di rumah dan berpegang kepada kedudukannya. Tapi kami lihat daripada pandangan kita sebanyak 5 minit tertinggal, Alistair Yong berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1, tapi tidak jauh ke belakang di belakang adalah Jun Chen Eng.
Yeah, Jun Chen Eng still continuing to chase Alistair Yong now. They've been going at this at least for the last 10 minutes, but the thing is, Alistair Yong is still very, very fast. He's still uncatchable so far from Cheng Eng. There's been no mistakes shown on the youngster's part, so he's definitely making the best of his positioning right now to maintain P1. But with 4 minutes to go, can his tires still hold up though? No doubt, you know, after running for so long, the tires are going to start to wear out, and we did see some interesting situations in the last amateur class where some drivers seem to have lost all pace there towards the end. So maybe the cliff might be hitting very soon for some of these drivers here, so they're going to have to keep that in the back of the mind. But no doubt in the back of their minds as well is going to be Nico Nasi, who is currently still in P3, and he's already catching up to the top 2 here. So no doubt a three-way battle for the lead is about to unfold before our very eyes.
Kami akan lihat dia beberapa cubaan yang datang daripada Miko Nasi ke arah chicane yang
Whoa, look at that.
Di depan.
Whoa, my goodness.
Kami akan lihat dia perlawanan di antara Zanlei dengan juga Alif. Telah pun bertemuan antara mereka, namun Zanlei berjaya tapi tidak mengikat Alif. Zanlei tidak bagi muka langsung, tapi Zanlei telah pun dikeluarkan daripada Lita, daripada Muhammad Alif. Lalu mereka bertemu antara satu sama lain dan Muhammad Alif berjaya untuk melepaskannya. Lalu Tengku Zanlei malang tidak berbau. Memanglah terjatuh kepada kedudukan nombor 10. Memang sedih dikenakannya oleh Muhammad Alif ke arah Zanlei, Victor.
I don't know, like, honestly, I don't know, but I think the market look at that there because there's so heavy contact between Zanlei and Alif there. So I wouldn't be surprised if there may be announcement about penalties after this, but nevertheless, we're going to continue racing here. Zanlei is still able to get back on track here, but he's down into P11, so that was definitely a very controversial move there by Alif Hamilton, but definitely didn't take away from the excitement there, and no doubt the adrenaline that must be coursing through the veins of these drivers. In fact, I can see even the chat is getting excited at the fact that there's so much wheel-to-wheel racing, but still no crashes here, and that, I think, is a testament to how good these drivers here are in the pro class.
Memanglah satu aspek yang boleh dikatakan bagus pasal perlumbaan ini adalah keselamatan lah. So bagus jugalah bila ada kemalangan tersebut tidak berlakunya apa-apa kecederaan, apa-apa kerosakan yang begitu besar. So bagus jugalah berada di dalam Elite Virtual ini. Tapi kami akan lihat ya daripada kedudukan Alistair Young memanglah tertakluk kepada nombor 1 dan kami akan lihat 90 saat masa tercatat akan tertinggal bagi Alistair Young. Dia kena berpegang kepada kedudukannya, namun Cheng tidak menunjukkan dia akan berputus asa lalu menekan Alistair Young bertubi-tubi di dalam pusingan-pusingan terakhir ini.
I think I noticed a lot about Alzer's line is that he tends to go a little bit wider sometimes through these corners. And the thing is that even though, yes, that will still maintain a lot of speed through some of these corners, it still opens up a wide open gap there that perhaps could be exploited at the right at the right given moment. So the thing is that Alistair has done very well so far in maintaining the lead, but Cheng is still having observed Alistair over the last several laps, is definitely cognizant of like where are the points that Alistair may be a little bit weak at, and perhaps might already have a plan formulated in his head on how to attack him. As now this race is quickly going to be coming to a close. 30 seconds left on the clock. Will Alistair be able to come across the line just in time though? That still remains to be seen.
Satu laga pusingan tertinggal perlu dilengkapkan oleh Alistair lalu berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1-nya. Kami akan lihat Cheng bersama dengan Nasi tetap berlawan antara satu sama lain, tapi 10 saat tertinggal untuk masa tercatat dan satu lagi pusingan perlu dilengkapi. So adakah masanya mencukupi dan jarak dia tidak memuaskan bagi Cheng Eng dan juga Nasi. Kami akan lihat Alistair tetap akan berpegang. Satu lagi
Line.
garis lurus yang diperlukan oleh Alistair Young dan lalunya Alistair Young berjaya untuk melepasi garis penamat dan itulah dia Alistair Young berjaya berpegang kepada kedudukan nombor 1 diikuti oleh Cheng Eng. Nasi. Oh, Nasi terjatuh pada kedudukan nombor 10? 11?
I think that could be a glitch there. We're gonna wait until the final results are out. But Alistair Young has won the race here. Cheng Eng is in second. We saw Miko Nasi in third, but he seems to have dropped out completely. So we're not too sure what the final results are. He seems to be in P16 at the moment. So that's kind of weird. We're gonna find out later on what the official results will be. But I do have an update as well. The battle between Alif and Izante has been judged as hard but fair. So that's definitely good news here for Alif. He's definitely going to be able to keep his position here regardless of the results. So that's definitely good news all across for him.
Satu peraturan yang boleh dipertimbangkan antara Alif dengan Ezan, tapi adalah satu peraturan yang telah pun diundangkan bagi race director kita pada hari director perlumbaan kita pada hari ini. Dan kami akan lihatlah pada kedudukan-kedudukan yang tercatat bagi kita tetapkan siapa akan menjadi pemenang bagi perlumbaan nombor 2 ini. Apakah pandangan-pandangan penutup bagi awak ya Victor bagi perlumbaan nombor 2 ini di Elite Virtual Zandvoort?
Yep, so this definitely has been an exciting 2 races here in the pro class. I hope you guys enjoyed it at home. So make sure you give a like and follow to the eRacing GP Southeast Asia page, because we're going to be bringing you guys more live streams like this where you're going to see close wheel-to-wheel racing action and plenty of thrills, plenty of spills here. And it's been a joy so far commentating here at Zandvoort Track. Nick, would you say?
Okeylah, boleh dikatakan peluang yang begitu bagus dan unik bagi saya. Bukan unik daripada segi bekerja online dan bekerja dalam media broadcasting, tapi bekerja di dalam satu industri motorsport, motorsukan yang begitu boleh dikata exciting lah. Memang tak sabar nak tengok apa lagi yang boleh disediakan oleh penaja kita, iaitu Race Room, juga Persatuan Sukan Motor Malaysia, Motorsports Association of Malaysia MAM, dan juga 100 Motorsports akan kemukakan kepada kita semua penonton di rumah pada masa akan datang. So kepada penaja kita, ribuan terima kasih. Kepada Victor, terima kasih banyak-banyak. Memang satu pengalaman yang bagus bekerja dengan awak sekali lagi. Dan kepada semua pelumba-pelumba, peserta-peserta dan pemandu-pemandu yang ingin memasuki ke dalam industri yang memang exciting ini, haraplah anda semua bersiap sedia untuk acara-acara yang akan datang di masa depan lagi.
Yep. So again, yeah, thank you very much, Nick. So I think we're going to be going back to our panel here. Alex and Des, how are you guys doing?
Well, thank you very much to our commentary team. Really, really good racing. Alistair Young with the victory. That's your boy, Alex, huh?
Yeah, well, I was going to get the winner on Discord, but since the winner's in my house, he might as well come sit next to me.
And we can tell you that there is no there is no family cheating going on here. I understand he's upstairs wherever you're in Banks, aren't you? Wherever you are, he's upstairs, but he's made the way downstairs. But congratulations, Alistair. You led from the very, very first corner and were under intense pressure throughout, but held onto it.
Yeah, no, it was good. I think the main thing was getting into the lead because I was on the third row, I think. So I had a good initial launch, and then during the second phase, I think Ezen was in front of me. So I just pushed him a bit. So I bump drafted him, and then I threaded the needle between him and Mitch. Then from there, I knew I could pull a gap, and I think I had about a second's gap for the whole race. And yeah, there were a couple mistakes here and there, but I knew that the guys behind me weren't as consistent as well. So as long as I could just keep it on track and keep a relatively quick lap, it's really hard to overtake around Zandvoort and take the win.
How's the pressure towards the end? Because you could see the other two cars closing towards the end just a little bit.
When I saw Miko in P3, I got a bit worried because I think there was like 3 or 4 laps left, and he was catching pretty quickly. But when I dropped the guy behind me, before he caught me up again on the second last lap, he was slowing down Miko a little, so I knew I could push. And then I made a mistake. I think the downhill right-hander, I went up a gear too high, and then they caught me again, but I pulled another 5/10 gap the next corner, which was good.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Proud dad indeed. So that was race number 2. Alif Hamilton, of course, Alex, is one of the people that we've got to be talking about. He picked up a second place in race number 1. I believe, according to the official results, he might even got a podium on race number 2. We need to find out what happened to Miko Nasi, who was battling for P3 but disappeared just before the finish line. I'm not quite sure what went on.
Yeah, so we're going to follow the provisional results that came out on the screen, but like I said, we have to investigate that because I don't know why Nasi disappeared, and sometimes there is a bit of a bug in the leaderboard. We see that in the past in the Global Edition. So any results you see are provisional at the moment. We need to go through it, and of course there might be some protests which we'll have to look at. But yes, by my calculations, first of all, Alifas did really well to get out of that battle with Izan, because that could have gone either way. One of them or both of them could have been in the barrier, and you could see they were getting a bit testy and were starting to lean on each other. But he was very lucky to get through that without ending up in the barrier. But so if we take the results as it was, he finished just in front of his teammate Jason Tay. They're very close in the championship. I think Alif has 35. No, sorry. Jason Tay is leading the championship. He has 35 points, with Alif only 2 points behind in 33 points. Now, of course, that could be changing depending on what happens with Nasi. If Nasi does keep his third place after we've done the investigation, then he'll be quite close to those 3 drivers as well.
So the Causeway edition is up and running. We will be back with you next Sunday. Amateur class was very good. The pro class, I've got to say, that was some of the best racing that we have seen all seasons, be it the Philippines edition, which was terrific in its debut on Friday, be it the global edition, where we've seen some really good rounds in the 5 out of the 6 so far, but there was some really good dueling going on there, and I think the Zandvoort track is perfect for sim racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Really enjoyed it. We go to Brands Hatch next, the short circuit, the Indy track. You can overtake a Brands into turn 1 and the last corner. You can as well. If you dive down, catch someone by surprise. But it's a really great fun track. Massive elevation changes. We talk about elevation changes. It's the turn 1, Paddock Hill Bend. It goes down like 3 stories within 90 meters, 80, 90 meters. It's fantastic. It's really good fun to drive. I'm looking forward to it. Going to be a busy week again next week. We've got the Global Edition, the last Global Edition. So we'll be out on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday again. So catch us then.
And from Victor and Nick, who did a terrific job in
Yes.
the commentary, remote commentary, which makes it particularly difficult for them to follow what's going on. But top job from them. Hope you enjoyed our Malay-English mix. Do give us some feedback on how you think on that. It's a calculated editorial decision by Alex to try to involve the Malay language. Of course, we do as well as English. But so the Causeway edition is up and running, and it could not have gone any better. We're back on your screens for the Causeway edition second round next Sunday about 1:45.